Okay, we are going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome. Here we know what it is, Sports Another-ish. Bringing y'all another episode. And feels good to be back, man. Long weekend. Last week's show was pretty entertaining. Very entertaining. We look back at it. We miss him out right now. You know, he doing this thing with the youth. They in the championship game, so he said he'll be wandering here late. So, you know what it is. So we got two guests blessing themselves with in our presence today. So we're going to start on our far left with, my cousin. It's a family affair. Say your name, man.
What's up, man? This is Donovan. Donovan Moore, in case everybody didn't know.
It's a family.
What up, though?
And we got returned, He held it down with us last week. Very entertaining.
Hey, Hayes, man. Returning for the second week to chop it up with y'all.
Yeah, man. So we had so much fun, man. We was like, the show is going by too quick, so we was like, man, we got to get another hour in. So the show will be going, 2 hours now. Just so much content you go through. The sports take up so much. We don't get to touch on the other ish, So we want to make sure we get other topics in, man. But we definitely got to start with sports, man. It's been an entertaining playoffs coming into the day.
Speaking of that.
Every series was 2-1. Last night, everybody was talking about that game. So much went on. Durant doing this thing.
He crazy.
I have no words for him, man.
He crazy. He done lost his mind.
Yeah, he just on another level. They wasting 46 from him. Harden in the eye, scoring 41.
Hold on, before you go further, update. Toronto just beat the Sixers, too, 101-96.
Wow.
Game just went final.
2-2, huh?
Man,
Oh.
that was big, man.
Yeah, that's a big win.
3-1 is tough, though. You had to win that.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
And that's what, we'll just start quickly with last night. It was imperative that Houston didn't go down 3-0.
Oh, they almost did.
They almost did, man. It was a crazy, it took so much. James having 41, Eric Gordon dropping 30. Iman Shumpert finally showed, stopped looking like a YMCA player.
Iman Shumpert.
They took.
Yeah, man.
Forgot he was in the league. I thought he was still on the Kings. Swear to God.
Yeah, he hit 3 threes. He pulling
trying to
up
be
on
funny.
people.
Yeah,
So that was very entertaining. And I don't know what's going on. I'm one of the biggest Steph Curry fans, and I try to give him all this praise, but he got to wear that performance last night.
Terrible.
That was terrible.
Terrible.
I have no words for that.
Trying to get the stuff on the dunk.
Yeah,
25 seconds to go,
missing
down by
layups,
5.
like, looking like Donovan Mitchell out there.
Oh, why you do the young dog like that?
Can't
He
stand
ain't
him,
ready
man.
yet, Troy.
Yeah, Donovan Westbrook out there. I don't know what Steph. He got to bring it back. So, what's your thoughts on him?
Man, it's the same thing every year. Well, since Kevin Durant got there, same thing. Kevin Durant been saving them. He been saving. He gonna keep saving them. You wanna know what Steph shooting this series? 35% from the field, 25 from 3, and 84 from free throw.
Yeah,
That
he
don't
missed
sound
2
like
free
Steph
throws
Curry.
last night. Yeah, I don't know.
That sounds
And I
like
don't
Mario
wanna give him an
Chalmers.
excuse. He does have a jam finger, but yeah, he definitely looked like that guy.
Like that's
Yeah.
inexcusable. You can't.
Deion Waiters out there.
Right, for real.
What y'all think, man? Steph got to wear this performance.
I think he can afford to, man. I think in the back of his mind, he know that, even if he doesn't bring his A game, he got his other players there with him, man.
I used to think Mario Chalmers was cold.
I used to think so too, man.
Niggas,
He had
LeBron
like,
be making niggas look so sorry. Hey. That's why that was so funny.
we should have knew when Mo
Some
Williams
people be
got
making
hurt.
niggas look
Right,
so
for real.
cold, bro. I thought that nigga was cold.
That's how it be. Like you look at Steph. To me, it's not nothing new. From year in and year out, you can't name one like legendary playoff performance he's had. Like they've won some series, they won a lot of games, but name like one. Like what's his defining moment in the playoffs?
Well, I think he gets credit for. Well, it gets discredited, but his first playoff run, he'd averaged like 28. People
yeah.
like, they bring up that Iguodala Finals MVP, but Steph averaged
That was just
26.
that was for him irritating LeBron.
That was,
Yeah,
but
that
I don't know how you hold somebody to 35 points and play good
D.
defense. Yeah, we held him to
Yeah,
35.
Yeah, just like the year before when
Let's
Kawhi.
go.
Yeah, but you
Same
know,
thing.
Steph averaged
Yeah.
26, like 8
Right.
and 6, and they gave Iguodala the MVP.
Because he didn't have nothing that stuck out. Like he
had
didn't have that
37.
game
See,
that
people-
stuck out.
My bad. Look, I don't want to go off on a tangent.
No,
but
go ahead.
If you look at the game, he had one bad game, and he was like 5 for 23 from the field, something like he did yesterday. All the other games, he was like above 50% and was averaging like 30. Like the game that, they talking about my man shut him down, Dellavedova, he had 37 in that game.
Right.
Just because, like I say, you miss a few shots in the fourth quarter, you're getting D'd up. That man had to have an IV in his arm after that game.
Right.
Then Dellavedova. Then he go back and had 37 in Game 6, and then like 28 in like Game 5 he had 37. Then he closed him out in Game 6. So I think people try to hold that 2016 finals against him. But since Steph, yeah, they do. But the last two finals, he's averaged 28.
I'm good.
Like,
now.
so
The thing with Steph, though,
I think we just
You good?
what makes him so special is he kills you when Kevin Durant scores, you kind of expect it. You know, he comes down, get an isolation jump shot. Steph Curry hits those shots where you're like, it almost kills your morale as a team.
It's deflating.
And that's not what he's been doing lately. And that's why in that finals
He
didn't
might
seem
have been
so
missing.
special.
He been missing his deflators
Because he hasn't been hitting those shots. Like, he draws the crowd in.
'Cause he
Oakland,
usually just
that's all him.
hit one like
And you like, exactly. You got that look in your face.
dog.
then you used to that
That
little
was
spur.
the best deep.
Exactly.
He had, like,
Especially
3
when
in a
you've been
row.
playing
Exactly.
fairly good defense on him and you think you're doing
He not
good
hitting
and whatnot.
those.
Now all of a sudden he hit that one and get the shimmy in.
And then you like, damn, this game is over.
But when we look at Durant, that's why I like most of us here because we're all coaches. We all played the game, so we get to see it from that perspective. But if you're looking deep in the game, Steph is getting doubled, and he's allowing Durant to play one-on-one. They're not coming down, trapping Durant. So I don't know if they just sold out on Durant. You just gonna have to beat us and score 60. Maybe not gonna let Steph get off. But I don't know how Steph will look if he was getting those looks or getting able to go one-on-one
Just pick your
as
poison.
much as Durant is.
Pick your poison.
But I'm just saying,
Right.
a lot of the superstars don't get that ability in the league.
Right.
Harden, he's getting blitzed.
Mm-hmm.
Dame, he getting bumped and switched on the pick and roll. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi, you look at how they playing him. Durant just get to play like he on the court, at the playground.
Well, that's why next year is going to be interesting when Durant leaves, because then you'll get to see like last year when the Blazers got swept by the Pelicans. They had Alvin Gentry as their head coach. Where did he come from? Golden State. And the team like Golden State, you're coaching Steph Curry. Damian Lillard is a similar player. You know how to slow him down because you have another guy that you were coaching in Golden State. So now when Durant leaves, it's like, okay, now what does Steph Curry do?
Shit when he won the Super Bowl.
Same
It's
thing.
Like,
Like what do you do?
you know what they're doing.
So
How do y'all see the series playing out? Because if you look at it, both teams can look at it with the glasses half full. You look at Houston and besides what happened in Game 2, and we got back in that game, we can easily be up 2-1 or 3-0. And then Golden State, they can go and say, we haven't had a good game from Steph or Clay yet, and we still,
supposed to be 3-0.
and we still, should be up 3-0. And if I'm Golden State, even though they're up 2-1, I'm like, man, they pulling all of that well of youth out of Andre Iguodala, man. Dude up there, 35, man. Looking like he's 25. He's dunking everything. He's hitting his threes. I don't know how many. You can't have too many of those performances hoping that he going to keep bringing 16, 17, 18 tonight.
He hit some big shots, too.
Yeah, he did, man.
He did hit some big shots.
I thought it was over when they went up 112, 110. Harden did his thing. But, I had picked Golden State in 7 coming into this series. What did y'all have?
I said go to State in 5, man. I still think it's gonna happen. Because
That's tough.
with that game, man, I feel that like Houston, they know they should have lost. They know they should have lost. They really. I mean, even though it was close, but they know they got away with that game, man. And And by that happening, Golden State knew, like, man, we gave this away. They're going to mess around and blow the brakes off them boys in Game 4. I don't really see this being a series, man, just because of all of last year, man. I really don't see this really being a series like that.
One thing I do want to touch back on last night's game, and you answered me as Donovan because you was one of those scoring point guards, you know, had the range, can shoot at will. You have someone like Durant is going. I think sometimes like they don't go to him enough.
I agree.
Like some of those shots where Steph is missing his layups or Clay want to do his one catch step back fadeaway. I'm like, I'd rather just live with Kevin Durant getting those attempts, or, you know, he's essentially doing it all. He's playing a point guard. So my question is, if you one of those guards, you know, scoring is your thing, your shot not falling, why not try to affect the game in another way or keep giving it to someone that's hot? Is it because you think you're going to always come out that slump?
I think
I just don't.
When it's with someone like Steph Curry, it's like the next one, if it goes in, it's going to have a big impact on the rest of the game. With Durant, it's like he said multiple times he's not that alpha guy. He's not the guy that he wants to be the scorer. He wants to, you know, take that final shot maybe, but he's not going to demand the ball.
Yeah,
So I think if you're Steph Curry, though, and you see that happening, you have to make him come get the ball. Like, you're not hitting your shots. You have to affect the game in some other way, but you're not a defensive point guard. You're kind of a facilitator. Like, what else can you do? So I feel like you said, like, Golden State kind of pissed it away, but they're trying to get Steph going because they know they need him going, like, to win not just this series, to win a championship. If Steph Curry doesn't get going, they're not going to win a championship.
And you're starting to see that wear and tear, you know, being in the league so long. And then I don't know what was up with him last night too. Pulled a light skin moment. And, you know,
honestly, I think
end
it's
of the game getting hung on the rim. I don't know.
I think it's him not having that.
I don't know what that was. I'm like,
not having that bench unit is really affecting them.
yeah, you
Like,
missed those Barbosa and Clark days, man.
Where you
These
can
guys
come in and rest for 5-10 minutes and
Jerebko, I look at him and I know Melo, man. I'm like, I know he could be in the league over that guy. Jerebko coming in, don't have a clue. That McKinney guy, I'm like, gosh. I know Manny Harris should be in the league, man.
you go from having David West to Jonas Jerebko. It's like that's a big drop off.
Oh, man,
That's a hell of a
I really
difference.
watched
Big
those,
drop
man.
off.
So that was that's that series, and then
Portland.
yeah, tonight we have Portland. That game was crazy. I was at
Oh,
work.
yeah.
I was able to catch that 2 a.m.
What time did it finally end, though?
It was
What
like
like
2:15 in the
2:15.
morning.
Good God.
They had already started the rerun when the game ended.
Yeah.
That's how.
So
That
going
was crazy.
tonight, like, who do you think is going to have that edge? This is huge for Portland. You pull this out.
I got Portland in 6, so I think Portland wins tonight.
I thought 6 too, but yeah, I don't know. Jokic, man, I looked at him. He looked like he was so ready for that game.
Oh, he gassed.
He couldn't give anything in that
He's
overtime.
gassed.
You a big fella, Real. How's it with you playing that long, man? You got it going. They got to play through you out the post. Everything's starting to, and you got to anchor the defense.
I think
Just how tiring is that?
It's real tiring, man. That's people don't know with big fellas are how on offense how somebody is just leaning on you the whole game. Like literally, they elbows in your back the whole game. So somebody plays 60 minutes, man. That's a lot of that, and you got to think it's just him, and sometimes Plumlee. But don't get me wrong, he gives good little minutes off the bench. I hate when they both in there together, though. I hate that. But it's just him. Shit, Portland throwing like 3 different guys at him.
Yeah,
You got Leonard, you got
Collins.
you got Collins, and you got big boy Canner. So I mean, then when Collins and Leonard come in, shit, they stretching him out to the 3-point line. Man, he working hard, man. Denver overall, I like him.
Yeah, they run some
I
good
like the
stuff
team.
on offense.
I like that. See, I'm about to.
Yeah, thank you.
But
man.
I think just what Troy said, they run some good ass sets. Like that nigga's a hell of a point guard center.
Yeah.
Like they run some shit. But I think late game,
Yep.
talking about 4 overtimes, so there was a lot of late game the other night. I think late game situations, certain situations, don't get me wrong, fucking 3 minutes left in overtime. Yeah, run your sets. You know what I'm saying? Get it.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
run your shit. Run. Be who you are. But man, it was a couple times, man, under a minute. Man, they running these fucking 22-second long plays, man.
You can't get it off in
And
6 seconds. man.
and then it's just somebody might make a good defensive read, and like bro, and it's just a crazy ass shot, or it's the wrong person with the ball in their hand. Like,
Or they get
like,
caught off. 'cause-
motherfucker, are you in the league? Like, what you doing?
And they ran some good stuff. Like,
Bro.
I remember one, they set a little screen. You got what's the big fella? Millsap. He set a nice little screen for Murray. Then he dived into the basket. He ain't open. I'm just like, dog, like how you draw that up.
Like, yeah.
And then in the game now, Jokic is shooting fadeaway threes from the 3-point line.
With somebody
He's
wide
trying
open
get
next
them
to
do the
him.
Princeton cut.
Like, whoever was checking Murray failed.
Because you reading, yeah.
This
but
nigga,
but the play
he's so
called for
young.
that.
He's standing right there, so shame on him. Yo got fall, just cut. Like, Murray, one of the best cutters without the ball in the league.
Yeah, he has some big shots. He
Like,
tired
bro,
out,
just
too.
cut, and then the guy will see you, he'll throw it to. He shot it with like 1.9, so it could have passed and got a little floater. More high percentage than fadeaway three from the big guy.
But that's what Denver's missing. Like you said, he's so young. Their whole team outside of Millsap,
Yeah.
they're young. Their veterans is Will Barton.
And they could have came with
Yeah.
him a little bit.
Hey, that
more.
was a good game.
He did. He had a
Millsap
great
was
game.
hitting him with that old man game.
Yeah.
Had like 6 points in like that last overtime.
Man, it's like they got something out against. And I like him on Denver, but I ain't no fan like that because he went to state with Gary Harris.
Oh man,
Like, man. And don't get me wrong, I know he checking the super duper star. So you can't be touching him like that. And then you just know people you can't touch. Like, it ain't gonna change, bro. But man, he playing some good D, man. He get about 3 ticky tack fouls. So
Yeah.
then when you add in the fouls that
Can't
you
be
just get,
aggressive. Mhm.
like, so now he thinking about that shit on offense. That's why he off. But
Yeah,
man,
if you lose.
So
Well-
who do y'all think is gonna have the fresher legs out of the group? You know, obviously both teams played
sure,
a
Portland.
long ass game, but who do you think it might benefit or not benefit?
Portland. It's gonna benefit
Portland,
Portland
for
because they
sure.
go deeper in their bench.
Especially
They go
going home,
Shout out
too.
to Rodney Hood. There you go.
Big for him. I liked him
Yeah.
at Duke.
But
I was hoping
He been a scorer.
Even in
though.
Utah,
He been a
Utah
scorer.
before he got to Cleveland.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
he
yeah,
been a
but
scorer.
I'm saying I used to
Shit,
watch him.
in Cleveland, couple games in the fight. That motherfucker, he can score.
And yeah, that's remember last year. They
And he
played with
long,
his
so I
minutes.
mean,
They
whatever.
played with his
Play a little
minutes.
defense. Yeah.
He didn't get a lot in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go into the game, so then he had a little bit of spurts. I think the problem may be his. I don't know what it is.
They
He's a
could've did a
solid
lot
player, man.
I don't know.
They could have did a lot better in Cleveland last year with that roster, bro.
Yeah,
It could have been a
it's
better
tough to
series. They
play
probably would
with-
have lost that series.
I don't know if it's tough to play with LeBron or there was too
It ain't
young.
that tough to play with.
It's
a cold.
not tough.
Nigga, you ever hoop with a cold ass nigga?
But that's
Ain't
what I'm
easier?
saying.
But-
It should be easier.
But listen, like he just said, with
Like-
Denver, they run great sets. Cleveland, you would never say that about Cleveland. They didn't run sets.
No, they
Their
didn't.
offense was LeBron.
LeBron.
And I understand you got LeBron, but
yeah, Portland. We talking about.
yeah, I know. You
Oh,
saying
yeah.
like playing with LeBron, like their
yeah, I
offense
feel
is just
what you're
LeBron.
saying.
I feel like that's why Rodney Hood couldn't flourish how he's flourishing, like he did in Utah.
Yeah.
And how he's doing now. But I think Portland getting Cantor was a huge pickup for them because
Yeah,
when
man.
Nurkic's going down, you
That
got
was
John Collins or Myers Leonard starting.
now look. That was on my bad. I think that was a okay pickup for them. No, I'm not down on what
No,
you're
go
saying.
ahead.
Hear me out. I think that was an okay pickup. Like, let's get kind of all right.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was what make it so big is that he matured
Oh, of
like
course.
up to play some fucking D
He
and keep
outplayed.
himself in the game.
he
If he stay in the
outplayed Steven
game, he
Adams.
can fucking play. He can score the ball.
I think
We
people
know, but we
forget-
knew that. Though.
I think
we
people
knew.
forget he was like the
He
third
he
pick.
played some D, bro.
He was the third pick in that draft. That's
I
when he led
always
the
liked him
draft.
because he talked shit, but
Yeah.
but that's why I
And he
would
could
keep
score,
up with him.
but
Yeah,
they
but I
wouldn't-
like
they wouldn't
that cat. All
keep
right,
on
like I don't
defense.
know what New York was doing for real. Like I don't.
Even OKC,
They're
look
trying to
at
get
their
Zion.
depth.
Yeah, like bro.
OKC gave up Cantor for nothing. He was behind Steven Adams and outplayed him in the series.
Man, and I mean I don't know how you bench Steven Adams, but that's a
Cantor's gonna get
But
extradited
still,
back to
that's
Turkey.
that's a hell of a that's a hell of a guy coming off the bench.
That's a
If when
1-2
you do
punch.
sit down,
Yeah.
and shit, he hit a 3 the other night, so I don't know what's up with that, but they're gonna run Jokic ass out. But back to my point on Denver. Back to about running the sets with like a minute left. I think that at a point, and they pissed me off last night too, and I don't even like going to state,
Yeah.
but they pissed me off just the coach in me. and I tell you why. And then Houston pissed me off. I tell you about them. But Denver, a couple of times when it was, because every time it was close and at overtime with like a minute left, or like 30 seconds left, or 15 seconds, whatever it was left. You got Murray hitting big shot after big shot after big shot. At some point, my dogs, like everybody in here hooped. At some point, bro, give me the ball, get the fuck out the way. Go out, five out. Somebody help, I kick it to you, but I'm about to take this nigga to the rack to pull up
Like
or
what you
whatever.
saw Durant was
Like,
doing,
bro,
man.
just
He was just
like,
reading it last
bro,
night.
I'm like, bro, quit running
He was
all this
reading it
bullshit,
perfect.
dog. And they keep coming, bringing the balls. Like, bro, you bringing too many defenders. These niggas playing good D, bro.
It's overcoaching.
Like you overcoach. Like, bro, get the ball to your horse
And I
and
think
let's go, nigga.
that was
Yep.
Kirk.
Let's
kinda
go.
problem,
It's
too.
overcoaching.
But it's like their greatest strength is one of their weaknesses, man. And I don't know, man. Maybe Portland coaching staff knew that. But one time last night, Golden State down the stretch, Durant had, I think he reeled off 8 straight towards the end of the fourth. And it was like the next 4 times down the court, somebody else shot. And I don't care who it was. And I think one of the times Iguodala made one of them corner threes. But I don't understand as a coach, as other superstars on the court, meaning Clay and Curry, and I don't understand as Durant, like how y'all not give me the ball and get the fuck out the way.
Yeah.
I don't understand, especially at Golden State. Shit, you can't help off nobody. So shit, it's 1-on-1. Like,
And they
like,
overthinking
how
it.
do
Oh,
you,
I know the
bro,
cut is coming. The
like-
double's about to come.
Like y'all, they
He's
trying
gonna
to
slip this screen.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't understand. Like at some point, man, as it is like winning a championship and anything, it's gonna come down to heart. At some point, it come down to X and the O's and out the window. Dog, mano y mano. Like I don't
Gotta win your battles.
I don't understand how you give a nigga 8 straight on top of his head
And you don't touch
and
the
you
ball.
don't touch that bitch 4 times down the court.
That's what I'm saying. He
And
could've
it happens a
easily
lot,
had
but
50.
the
You
thing
as a
is, you're not
guard, though.
demanding it. You're not demanding the ball. Like
Shame on him.
if you score the ball, if you score twice in a row,
Yeah.
come get the ball. I'm gonna give it to you. But the thing is, if you're not demanding it, you don't look like you want the ball. You look disengaged. What's
Yeah, like,
happening?
and I
That
get it,
happened
not
to
giving
you?
it to him. I
Right.
get it.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I'm
that-
saying,
That's like you just said. You're not an alpha male, though.
Right,
You
and that's
know,
what it
he-
is.
He settles.
Like-
Because you play, like I said, you play
But he-
guard
he-
at a
he
high
not-
level, Donovan. How is it when you
That's
got
crazy.
it going and then someone comes in, you probably expecting like, all right, just keep feeding me.
Right.
And then a few people go off script. So how is it like, do you think they should just know to keep it going to you? Or do you got to establish like,
it happens.
keep feeding me and keep
It
giving me the
happens,
ball?
but it's very rare because that's the type of player I am. Like you know me, if you playing with me, like especially if it's organized basketball, and
Organized.
you know me, we've been playing together for a while. We're on the same team. You know, once I get going, keep giving it to me. If they double, I'm gonna make the correct play. I'm not about to just force up and jack up shots. I'm not Russell Westbrook.
Exactly. And I think
Keep getting it to me.
and I think Durant would make the best play.
Oh, for sure.
but
He was playing point guard
For
last
sure.
night.
But he gonna have to make that bitch, not whoever. I don't give a fuck about who got that or who shot. That's crazy to me. And then at the end of the it was only one overtime, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Last night at the end of regulation, it's like tie ball game or some shit. 10 seconds left, and it's a Chris Paul ISO. Nah, I know we talking about first ballot Hall of Famer. I get it, bro. Get the fucking ball to the MVP and get the fuck out of the way.
Saw what he did at the end of that, overtime.
Like,
Hit that step back 3.
how in the fuck? I'm at the fucking. I'm watching it like, hold on, bro. I'm Chris Paul. I mean, Donovan got to be as close as James Harden was to him. I'm like, once again, shame on Chris Paul because he's supposed to be one of the highest IQ niggas that ever hoop ever. Shame on James Harden for not snatching the ball out of his hand, and shame on their fucking coach for not calling a timeout. I don't know if they had one or
I think they had 2.
or demand. Oh, there you go. Or demanding that you get a ball to the fucking MVP, man. I don't know. I hope Greek Freak win it, but he probably gonna win
But
the
think
MVP,
about
but-
Durant his whole career, even with Westbrook. People were like, "Oh, Westbrook shooting these shots. Durant's mad." I don't ever think Durant was mad at Westbrook for jacking them shots at the end of the game because you can see he doesn't demand the ball. It's not that Westbrook wouldn't give him the ball. It's not that Steph Curry's not going to give him the ball. He doesn't demand it. You score 8 straight. Not only are you hot, now the defense is on edge. Now people are going to overhelp. They're going to overcommit. Like I
It's
said,
just a natural instinct.
Right,
Like,
like damn, he just scored
he
8
just
straight
dropped
points.
8 on it. Yeah.
Right, and now you got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Those are the shots that are going to get you
More
going.
open.
Right, like
I don't understand that one. Man.
either.
I'm not saying I'm Steve Kerr or better than him. But,
Coach just
I
wrap
mean,
up
he
the-
do got an easy job,
I
but
just
it's
wrap up
okay.
the West
no,
right quick.
No shade. No
I
shade. I
still
mean,
predicted Warriors in 7. Y'all,
I think I had him at 6.
yeah, you had
5.
5. and
I
you
had Rockets in 7 going into the
Rockets in
series.
7.
But after game 2, game 1 was kind of like the Rockets should have won that game. A few questionable calls. Game 2, I feel like the Warriors cemented it. So now I have Warriors in 7 still. I still think it's 7. I still think it's going 7.
With the Rockets, to me, man, I think they just shot their load last year, man, because when you got
a chip.
yeah, like literally, and that was really deflating, man, because in sports you got a certain window, man, to win it, and you up in that situation, man, and you
Did
get
that window close?
Yes, it's closed. Chris Paul is done, man. Chris Paul, they got to re-up somehow, somewhere.
He had it going last year. He had that shit going.
Chris Paul is
He
done.
was in
to me,
Cuz'
man.
head.
hooping though.
He was in Cuz' head last year.
Eric Gordon hooping too.
Chris Paul?
He was in Steph Curry head
He's in his
last year.
head every time they play. But I ain't
was
mean to
in
cut
his-
you off.
Oh, no,
every time they
Steph
play.
used to cook him like
He
the
was
last few
shimmying. He
years
was
in
shimmying
Golden-
and
I mean,
shit.
when he
Steph
with
was
the
doing
Clippers.
this.
I don't know
Usually
what's
Steph
going on.
laughed when people do that. He was like, this nigga cooking me, dog.
Yeah, so we had that. I think for Blazers series, I had Blazers 6. Yeah.
Finish up with your window. What about this window? Because I don't
Oh, my
know.
bad.
Because you know what, I put like this. In all sports, man, everybody got a window.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody got a window. And then you don't know how soon it's going to close. And I think that was their opportunity right there. For some reason, I just don't think Houston's window was that big. And then when they had it, they didn't capitalize on it. And I think it's closed. It's done. It's done after that, man. It's deflating when you can almost, and not only that, not just closing the window, but you almost slayed the dragon. You almost just slayed
like that.
and then you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden that dragon woke up.
Metaphor.
That
Hey,
dragon woke up and said,
metaphor,
"Hold on,
sure.
cuz, you know what I'm saying? You ain't about to kill us like that." They came back, defeated them, won an easy ship. Now you get to see them again. And Golden State on the back of their mind, they're like, "Man, we almost lost to them, man. We was down."
Oh, it was some text messages like,
yeah.
nigga. Nah, they probably
Yeah.
called because you don't want to text y'all. Like, nigga, y'all had that bitch, bro. But good looking, though. We going to win that bitch. Don't even worry about
Yeah,
it.
they going to take care of business. Like I said, they lost last night. Like, it's 2-1, but in the back of Golden State mind, they're like, "Man, we about to make sure we get rid of these
They
boys,
just
man."
need that one game, man. I only take that one game. So that's
If Rockets would have got swept, would they have broke ship up? Like,
Nah. Just because you can't trade Chris Paul, who's going to take that contract?
Yeah.
So you got to keep Paul and Harden.
yeah,
Only
keep him
movable
till
piece
he
was-
Yeah,
retire.
it's over. Now he got a John Wall contract. It's
Only
over.
movable piece was Eric Gordon. And I think that's trying to use that to get Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to, but you
Gordon
better
ball,
know
man.
Gordon Worth, man.
Yeah, Gordon Ball.
Cause you pay attention. Every USA team, Gordon be right there
Yeah,
too
if
with
I
them.
was-
Them niggas know who got game.
If I'm
He could
Minnesota
go.
the way Gordon balling, I'll probably take him over that Sarge and Covington little deal.
Oh, that
Oh, yeah.
Gordon balling, man.
But
Covington got he a 3D
they went
guy,
for youth. They went for youth. I think Sarge is going to be a nice little piece for him. They know Eric Gordon got too many years left in him.
Yeah,
How old is
30.
EJ?
He got to be
30.
pushing 30.
No, he 30.
He been around,
yeah,
man.
He a year older than
He
me.
just had a little cool little career, like under the radar career.
He's injured so much of it. Then he's found him a spot at
Man,
know,
think about how they
that's the
could've-
right spot though for you if you just can't
Just
can shoot. Nah,
just one run.
man.
Just think about
Go
how
to
good they
Houston.
could have been in New Orleans with Anthony Davis. Him, Tyreek
Man.
Evans, Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis. That should have been a perennial
And they never
playoff
could get
team.
healthy.
That window
Never
closed.
could get healthy. For real.
Praise that pays. Windows closing, man.
Yeah, windows closed, man.
Hey, y'all ever snuck in a girl window when y'all was little? I always see that on movies.
Now, yeah, but
Nah,
that's a movie
bro,
shit.
I was
ain't
just
it?
talking
Never
about
played
that at
that.
work.
I
I
always see
never
that on
played
movies.
that.
I never
I've
did that
never-
in my
ever.
life. I mean, I was
Ever.
always overgrown, but I never had to like, you know what I'm saying? You
I
just
get
know
that
they
part.
parents leaving and just come over.
Right,
Like,
just walk through the door.
that,
Walk through the front door.
that must be just some movie shit. Like, you always see a nigga creeping in the window on some high school sweetheart shit.
Tyrone, no.
Yeah, like what? You ever did that, man?
Nah.
You
I wouldn't even
This a
think
window?
about doing so. I think I'll get shot or some shit
Like,
like that.
no, I
I'm
ain't
not
I'm
climbing
breaking
in
it.
your window.
I ain't sneaking no windows.
And
Oh,
then,
no,
then
you-
going out the window too.
Yeah, coming out.
You-
Police just shoot there and ask you what you was doing, huh?
It's
Yeah,
not,
you
man.
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to I was just like, I don't
Nah,
see that.
it'd be
man.
random too though. But shipping back to the East, that Milwaukee series. You know, Bug was trying to hold me accountable last week because I said I didn't like this Boston team, and I don't know that series with the Bucks have gained the upper hand. They seem to figure something out. They've been guarding Kyrie well, and I don't know what's up with Jason Tatum, like averaging like 4 points.
Everybody
Shots
overrated
off.
him to start the season off.
It's because they working with Kobe,
Everybody.
man.
No, it's
Giannis
not 'cause of
working with
that.
Kobe. They,
It's
they
not-
talking that
It's not because he
he
worked
should
with
be
Kobe.
good. He worked with Kobe. He's gonna.
You gotta remember, I don't think this dude's old enough to buy liquor yet.
I think he just
You
turned
gotta get it
21.
figured out. Like he still got to get it figured out. At the end of the day, he's a child playing against grown men that have played basketball their whole lives. Like, yeah, you got. That's why guys like Andre Miller stayed in the league for so long.
Yeah.
You're smart. You have that basketball IQ. Jason Tatum is playing off pure skill right now, but he's not in a system where he can just flourish and where it's just him. Like your mistakes are magnified because now you can't come down and get 3 or 4 heat check shots. You got Kyrie Irving, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Gordon Hayward, you got Al Horford, you got all these guys that now, when you shoot the, I feel like he's playing very timid. He's not aggressive when he needs to be aggressive. Like when you got Pat Connaughton checking you, you should be aggressive. Look at Jaylen Brown. Every time Meritich was checking him, he right in his chest, going to the hole, drawing fouls. Jaylen Brown isn't doing that. He's not being that aggressive scorer. I don't know what Brad Stevens said to him because last offseason you dunking on LeBron, but this offseason you got Pat Connaughton checking you and you can't even take him off the dribble. It's like,
I said
it's
when
weird
he
to
came
me.
back anointed and people like he kind of felt like it was about to be his team or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
no,
know
sir.
if he had that illusion.
No, sir.
Because Kyrie, they go as he goes, and I don't know if he felt like, oh, maybe they about to, turn these keys over to me. It is what it is. I don't know what it is.
But that's what the talk was. They're like, oh, trade Kyrie. You got Terry Rozier and you got Jaylen Brown. You got Jason Tatum. You got all these young guys. It's like that's not how it works.
Nah, and Chris
Nah,
Middleton,
you'd be down 0-3.
Yeah.
Rozier.
They wanted to be Indiana.
Yeah, that's
Kyrie killed Indiana. I know they swept them, but
Yeah.
Indiana was in every game. It just
It
Kyrie
was.
just
That was
killed
like the
them.
closest sweep
Yeah,
I've ever
like-
seen in my life.
No Oladipo there, so
Right, with no Oladipo.
That would have been a series, man.
Whatever,
Oladipo can go.
Yeah, so that I don't know. Like I had Bucks and I think I might have picked 6 or 7.
I think
But,
we all went. No, we didn't all go
I
Bucks.
think Mal might have
Mal
picked
was
6.
Celtics
Yeah.
for sure. Mal and Lance was
Yeah, I think I had the Bucks in 7 as well.
7.
I think
I had him at 6.
I think the Bucks. They seem to play Kyrie well too. Or maybe Kyrie gets tired from shooting all those shots, but you can't bank on him to keep putting up 40 or hitting all these crazy shots every
Yeah,
night.
man. They,
So,
man, and man,
it's
when
like the
he,
Bucks.
bro, when he score, that should be a tough
Yes,
shot.
man.
But that's him.
Like that's him, but shit.
How many nights can you do that? And
Shit.
be efficient?
Exactly.
When you got to do.
And
you
then the
are
problem is when
taking
you
all
ain't
those
hitting them,
dribbles
your
and scoring.
team is
That's
boo boo.
tough.
They shoot too. They yeah. I don't know.
The thing is, like the difference between the Bucks and the Celtics, I feel like everyone on the Bucks has bought into the system. Giannis is the best player. We're gonna live and die. They don't care if you shoot the ball from half court. They're gonna get back on defense. You see a lot of times where Kyrie dribbles a lot, shoots and misses, and everybody like, all right, well, come on, man, pass me the ball.
Body
but the
language.
Bucks, everybody, they bought in. Like, I don't care what you do. We trust you. You're our leader. We're going to you. On the Celtics, I don't know who their leader is. I don't know if it's Al Horford. I don't know if it's Kyrie Irving. And it's like, that's tough. That's tough to play in a system like that when you got these young guys that are like, okay, it's my turn.
When you just gonna get the keys to me.
Exactly.
For some reason, I just don't see Al Horford as a leader. He could be though. I don't. He just look goofy to me, man. I just don't see
He's
him
like that
leading,
veteran.
That jump shot.
leading the team to win.
Jump shot.
On everywhere they say
But
he
you know
wet
what
too,
though?
so-
He's very underrated, man. He get it done, man.
Get it done.
He gets it done, man. He looks unorthodox with everything that he does, though. But he's there. He's there. He getting his rebounds, getting his putbacks and the shot sense. I give him all the credit though. But yeah, that's
I think
why.
they're supposed to be. I know they play tomorrow. But you look at
That's
what you
tomorrow?
think about what you think about Kyrie, getting the complaints about, Giannis getting a lot of free throws.
Oh, they're fouling him a lot. The thing is, he's not
You
like
better
Harden.
foul him, or
Like-
he gonna break the rim.
It's funny how he's like
Yeah,
You
playing
let him
that
foul
bully
him and let him
ball
shoot free throws.
Oh yeah,
and just
they're fouling
attacking.
him a lot.
It remind me of like how LeBron.
Bro,
used to
that
play.
nigga is LeBron
exactly what it is.
James when he first got
Yeah.
to the league, bro.
Yeah.
But the difference is he's
When
not
this
as
nigga
big
get a
as
jump
LeBron.
shot-
So when you foul him, you like it shows. Like with
Yeah.
LeBron, he didn't get a lot of fouls because he was so big that it's like, all right, the slap doesn't really show on his body. Like Giannis, but he's not James Harden. He's not just sticking the ball out going up. Like he's getting fouled.
He getting like
Yeah, he's
fouled.
definitely getting fouled.
And he
Like,
attacking
they-
so hard,
man.
man.
And
relentless
that's
with
but
it.
he got some dog ass body control.
Yeah,
Cause
man,
he be
he's
like
so
he be
long
like
and wiry
evading
like
the
he
charges.
is.
Cause every play somebody falling like he charged. Like come on, bro.
They got them go gadget arms too, man.
Dog.
Arms long than a
And then he
motherfucker.
just
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
bro,
long
what?
steps, and then he at the rim.
Man.
I could swear I remember seeing one time. I think Hubie Brown was showing one of the games though. But he was like in one dribble. He took one dribble from half court and was at the
dunked it
rim.
in the free throw line.
Yeah, he was at the rim. I'm like, God,
And
damn,
then
this
got
dude
bounced.
long.
And when he work, and you could tell he working on that jumper. You could tell he ain't gonna take as long as Brian. He gonna fuck around and have a jumper next year.
Then we go back to the other games in the East. Whereas
They said they had to lock him out the gym, dog.
Oh, Giannis?
Giannis.
Oh wow.
They have to bar him from the gym. His coach do, dog.
Bro, he was built like
They-
Kevin Durant when he got in the league. Now he built like
Dog,
a small
they
LeBron.
said 50 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
Man,
Dog, they say this nigga will not, like, 3 in the morning. You know, with whoever random coach, let's go, nigga.
that's that Kobe
4 in the
shot,
morning, let's
man.
go, nigga.
So
Kobe
That's
shit.
that Kobe shit. That you don't want him to get that.
so why is Ben Simmons not doing that then?
Ben Simmons is scared to shoot.
I don't know. I was listening to some podcast and they said his coach in high school said he used to be able to shoot, and then someone messed with his jumper
Tweaked his jumper.
and like he might have like that
Markel.
Markel syndrome, whereas it's not as comfortable like he used to.
If you watch him shoot, his right hand is behind the ball. Like, so you can't guide the ball if your hand's behind it. Hands should be on the side. His hand's behind it.
And then it's weird.
Oh,
Isn't
he
it
like,
Yeah, he like this.
isn't it
like
like he
blocking his
shoot
own
his
shot.
then isn't it like he shoot his jump shots like right-handed, but in the game he only shoots his free throws left-handed.
Left-handed.
And
What is
it's
he?
something weird.
What is he?
They said he's supposed to be ambidextrous.
Yeah, he ambidextrous.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
that's
sure.
I think that's the gift and the curse with him, man. Because I
LeBron's
remember when he first came
ambidextrous.
out, they was
LeBron
like
the
they don't
same
know if he's
way.
gonna shoot
Brian
left-handed
is
or
too, right?
right-handed.
Yeah, LeBron left-handed.
Yeah, Bron's
but
left-handed.
He plays right-handed.
Yeah,
Oh, LeBron left-handed?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a lefty.
yeah, he
He
writes
just does
left-handed and everything.
right-handed. It's
Yep.
weird.
That nigga's creative.
Just like Mike
I don't care
Conley.
what nobody
Mike
says.
Conley's right-handed, but plays
What?
left-handed. Bet you ain't know that. Yeah, he's right-handed. I've
Pistons
never
so
seen that in
weak
my
for not
life.
Going to get him.
Rose.
Man,
J.
with Ben,
Rose is too?
with Ben
Nigga from
Simmons,
Southwest, man. That's why.
Ben Simmons is more of a mental thing. Like, just
It
shoot
is,
the
man.
ball.
Yeah.
Just shoot a mid-range jump shot, not even a three. Like, DeMar DeRozan isn't a great three-point shooter, but he has that mid-range jump shot. There's a lot of guys that have that.
You just want to keep him honest.
I don't like
Yeah.
DeMar, but he got that mid.
Oh,
He
yeah.
got that, man. And then the moment you come out on him and play it too hard,
And
you
he's
let his
athletic enough.
athleticism take over. That's why he gonna have a long career.
So how y'all see that Philly series shaping up? We just got the news that Toronto tied it up.
2-2 going back to Toronto, right?
Yeah, and it was tough because Philly, it looked like they
Oh.
figured something out. They doubling Kawhi. They're not getting production from the other team, from the other players on the court.
Listen,
And if you Kawhi, you like, man, I don't know if I want to be double teamed every night.
listen,
That,
I don't
that Clippers
know.
offer looking good.
Raptors
so it's
in
nice how they
6.
got the win. Yeah, I thought
I
so.
don't
I
know.
thought
Raptors in
Toronto.
6.
I thought Toronto. I don't know if I said
Toronto
5 or
three.
They're
in
gonna,
a
they gonna
row.
go back. They're gonna go back home, take care of business. You know, it'll be business as usual. And then it's gonna be one of them tough games
And
where you're
Philly.
constantly hearing dun dun defense, dun dun.
That's
It's gonna
tough.
it's gonna have that playoff intensity and stuff, and you know they're gonna eke it out at the end on some wild
That's
shit.
tough.
What's going on with Lowry, man?
Man, you know it, same thing every year.
Lowry.
But the difference
The
is
season's up?
Pascal Siakam. Even though he didn't play great today,
I got you.
I think Pascal Siakam is their difference. He's their difference maker. Like, that's a big body that they didn't have. Like, he's very switchable. I know that's not a word. But, like, he's very rangy on defense. Yeah, we're going to make it a word.
Is a word.
He's very rangy on defense. Like, he can do a lot
Talking about
defensively,
Siakam?
and offensively. Not only can he step out and shoot the three, but now you in the pick and roll. Now he's checking Ben Simmons. He can guard him straight up.
Yeah,
he
he
can
can.
guard Jimmy Butler straight up. Last year when they had DeMar DeRozan, granted Kawhi is a 2 times better player, they didn't have that third player that can help them out. Because I don't think DeMar played bad last year. But they had OG Anunoby guarding LeBron James. It's like, what?
Yeah, that ain't gonna-
That was a
ain't
recipe
gonna
for
work.
disaster.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
No, not at all.
Not advancing to the next round. It's
Not
not.
yet.
No.
Should've worked for
You can try that in a
his
random
contract.
February or something like that.
Early
but-
vacation.
Yeah.
That's what it's
That's
going
gonna
to work
work.
for.
Maybe the Christmas game. Yeah, that ain't gonna. They got that boy coming in. That strong boy coming in checking Giannis now. I'm like, bro, he just getting a foul every
Oh,
play.
you talking about Ogilvy?
Yeah,
he-
I'm like, bro. Don't get me wrong. He like a
Yeah,
freak.
Yeah,
They talk about it in the weight room.
Yeah, they say the weight
Yeah,
room be
yeah.
crabby and they're like loud as hell.
Man,
But that ain't gonna work. And the problem I don't like with it, because I get it, go get some hard fouls, shake him up a little bit. But man, if he making his free throws and you a liability on offense, now he hit a couple threes at the end of the last game,
Yeah,
so
he
maybe
did. Yeah, he
maybe
did.
he got that in this game. We just don't know. But kind of don't got to check him like that. And that ain't the Bucks already play good D, so you don't want to have a liability out there.
Yeah, not at all. And the thing is, the Bucks are missing probably their best all-around, one of the best all-around players, is Malcolm Brogdon.
And Malcolm, yeah.
Like, not only is he a good defender, but offensively he can shoot the three. He was leading the league in free throw percentage for a long time. I don't know if he ended the year like that, but they're missing the key piece to their offense.
Yeah, man,
and they
he's
rolling.
tough.
You know what
I didn't know they had Paul Gasol. I'm like, man, don't come on.
You talking about Toronto?
No, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, Paul. I keep getting
they're
they brothers.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah.
And
tough.
My bad.
Brooke Lopez, like them signing Brooke Lopez just opened up their offense. They opened up their offense.
Because the big man got to be out there with him.
Exactly.
You got to.
It's no more rim protection for Giannis now. Now Giannis gets that one-on-one.
He probably the key to Giannis, man.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
So, with this being said, man, so how bad of a coach is Jason Kidd then?
It's crazy. He wasn't a bad coach.
You don't think? As soon as they got rid of him, it seemed like they just flourished, though. It's like
And guess what? I was mad about it. Like, man, they all right. But
I mean,
I ain't know y'all was
coach.
that good.
It's just Budenholzer is such an underrated coach. Look at Atlanta. He had Kyle Korver as an all-star. Kyle Korver, Jeff Teague, Paul Millsap, Al Horford.
Team, you talking about that?
The one that can beat LeBron.
100 wins in a row or something. Man, that team was crazy. I'm like, I was scared because I'm a LeBron fan. I was scared. I'm like, oh, no, they don't want to see them.
If
in the
y'all
playoffs.
remember, that was the same year. That was the first year Golden State was good.
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was going to be Atlanta and Golden State.
State.
Like, Mike Budenholzer is such a great coach.
He was their coach.
Yeah, he was their coach.
As I said, he
tough.
got a hold of the Bucks and is like just elevated them. So it's like,
He
is
did. He
it either
turned
my
them
man
up.
is that good of a coach, or is Jason Kidd kind of suspect, or is it in between, or what's going on
No,
with
J.
that?
Kidd,
man?
just like his jump shot, he just need a couple of years.
Just need a couple.
let it
Need a
tweak.
couple years.
Get it going.
Gotta tweak it.
Yeah, you got to tweak it a little bit, let him. But Giannis liked him. Like, when they fired him, Giannis was kind of upset because he liked him. Like, you learned from a Hall of Famer. But like
It's
you
a
said,
respect factor, like, man.
he didn't become
bro.
he should have did the assistant route first. Like, I don't like Tyronn Lue, but he was an assistant for Doc Rivers,
Man.
one of the best
He
coaching
was in
minds
the back
in
of
the
the I
league.
can remember seeing him on that bench for a long time.
Yeah, so it's like Jason Kidd didn't pay his dues. He just jumped
Thanks,
right
bro.
in. So I think that's what kind of messed him up. But Mike Budenholzer, and that's a Popovich. He fell from the Popovich tree. So it's like any coach that's come from San Antonio.
True.
It ain't like New England where people that come from Bill Belichick don't pan out. Popovich usually produce some pretty good coaches. So
It was dope. So, see how that shaping out.
Hey, so the question was, is J. Kidd, we was talking about the elevation of the Bucks.
Oh, okay, good.
So we made an obvious observation that Brooke Lopez is definitely open everything up for Greek Freak. But the question was, AA said, was J. Kidd that bad of a coach, or is Budenholzer that good of a coach?
I think.
Or a mixture of
Budenholzer.
both.
No, I think Budenholzer is a better coach.
Okay. So the consensus, no shade on J. Kidd. Okay.
Yeah,
I like
you
J.
look at
Kidd.
It's just,
Damn.
I think you just look at
I
it.
didn't like when they split that Rookie of the Year with G. Hill. I ain't like that.
That hurt.
Even though G. Hill's Duke, but
Yeah, but if you just look at the
still
way
was Detroit.
how open the game is for him, how they playing on defense, J. Kidd had him like. He had like a kind of old school mindset of switching everything and not checking the corner three, and
That ain't gonna work.
yeah, it's
The
not
new
gonna work.
NBA.
And then it was not enough movement, so the scores, the quarters all clogged for Giannis. So yeah, I think Budenholzer, he definitely elevated this team to the next level, and
Mount probably about to call in.
good to see what he can do with talent. He ain't calling yet. So,
Oh, not right now. I just gave him the number. I don't know if he about to. He said they lost by 2 in the championship.
Sick with it. Damn, it's tough.
That's tough. I was like, they said they was playing Flint affiliation. I'm like, okay, well, they can still hoop outside in Flint. I know that when I lived up there. I'm like, I went outside. I was going to the park one day, like, let me get some shots up. Them niggas had a whole game and like 8 nexus. I'm like, whoa. Y'all still hoop outside, huh? I ain't know. Detroit, man. Detroit's so bad.
Trying to destroy your knees. Trying to
Man,
get
Detroit,
them
yeah, see.
Derrick Rose knees.
Man, man, we grew up, man, at Hayes. We grew up playground hooping, man.
All right.
And it hurt my heart, man, when I drive through the neighborhood
mm-hmm.
and it'd be like nobody at the park. Or I drive through the hood and I see niggas shooting dice at the park. Like, I learned how to hoop, dog. I learned how to hoop at the park and at a motorcycle club, believe it or not.
Or even when you just had like that one friend who had a
Like,
hoop.
Bro.
Or he'd go to his house. You don't even see that. Like
yeah,
barely
the
see
crib,
that.
somebody with the rim, like, bro.
Yeah, you don't even see too many rims and driveways and stuff
Man,
like
what-
that.
Bro, it used to be every street you turn down, you got to wait till these little youngins get done doing what they do so you can drive by.
Cardboard. Yeah, you don't even
Man, bro, man, this and so I went up there and I was like, wow, they still hoop up. They like hoop up there. My point is, the younger kids are probably a little bit better than our younger kids because they
get it in.
they live sleep because it
You gotta
just
get
ain't that
ready
much
with
to
it.
do up there, man. It ain't that much to do, man.
Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff down here.
It's
That's
you
why.
can stay into everything down here. You can whatever. It's a little bit financially a little worse off than down here. So everybody ain't got Xbox Live. So everybody ain't on Fortnite. Like them niggas play outside. Like I go outside my apartment complex, they playing outside. I'm like, this what kids supposed to do though, man.
Yeah.
Like that's how I was as a kid. I played video games though, but when I got in for the night, I played right quick. But I had played outside.
Couldn't
all
wait to
day,
go
man.
out there.
Yeah, man.
Couldn't
Like
wait.
being when the street lights was on, so you was trying to do everything.
Street lights
Light
come
ride.
on. You make your way home, and yeah, all right, I'll hop on the game. You know, homie come over, but you know now they online all day, man. And I
But
just
it was different though. Like even I know y'all a little bit older than me, but even when I was coming up, I'm early 2000s. I was in elementary school. It was you had PlayStation 1. Like you didn't have great graphics on that. You
Yeah.
weren't like
Yeah,
about to
so
play
after a while, you'll get
online.
bored,
Right,
yeah.
I'm about to play with somebody in China. Like now you got everything at your fingertips.
you do, man.
Like this is computer.
Everything.
Like I got a computer in my hand.
You don't even have to walk to the store anymore.
Right, like you got
Get
Uber
your-
Eats.
They
They
deliver
Because they
do all that for you.
Like
so it's
damn.
Let me go to the store and get a slice right quick.
At least I can
Man, no wonder we
be a
getting
fat ass
obese.
and at least get some steps in. Back in the
Yeah.
day, you ain't even
Yeah.
got to get your steps in.
Man, back
They
then,
bring it
Right
to
quick.
you.
Let me get a
when
fork.
I was young, we knew almost everybody on our block just because you had to be outside.
Yeah, man.
Like,
summer,
nah,
man.
no.
You don't even know who on your
Right, I don't
That's
know
a
who my
great
neighbor
point.
is.
Like, man,
Everybody, no, you don't, man.
like-
and it's crazy. You know,
That's
you
sad,
even look
man.
at it. I don't know, man. It's just crazy to see what my kids growing into and how their lifestyle is going to just be so different from the way I grew up, man.
Completely different. Like they don't know what dial-up internet is.
No, man.
Like what's
AOL, you
dial-up?
get
Right.
you
on
would
the
be playing
IMs
online
back
if
in
you
the
knew how
day.
long it took for the game to
The
start.
game cranky like, nah, I'm good. You know what? I go
Wi-Fi.
outside. Like, yeah.
Wi-Fi.
But the thing is, you wasn't worried about that.
Wi-Fi.
Like, you didn't care about none of that.
That's crazy, man. So while we have, it's crazy while we're throwing it back and talking about memories, we wouldn't be remiss this week if we didn't discuss the pioneer, John Singleton, man. Came and I think it shocked me that one, he was 51, so that means he was so young when he was making those movies.
I didn't know you was that young.
Yeah,
That's
that
crazy.
shocked me. Like, you know how we giving Ryan Coogler his respects for the Fruitvale Station and for doing the thing he did
Black
with
Panther.
The Black Panther and Creed.
Fruitvale Station.
Yeah, you have that.
That was P.
And he-
Jordan too. That was
Yeah,
like,
Yep.
I think
that
Coogler
nigga
was
been in some
around.
hits. Dog.
He was around 25, but if you look at Singleton, was 23, giving us Boys in the Hood.
Was he?
Man, that's wow. It's just, and it was such a great depiction. It was nothing fake. It was just real and authentic. And I just feel for his family, you know, because I'm still grieving Nipsey, you know.
Yeah.
So then we get hit with this one, but
It's
it's just
early in
awesome.
the year too, man.
Man, it's still early.
With
All
that,
of us
with
are.
that being said, man, we gotta go get ourselves checked out. 'Cause what I heard that his high blood pressure, his blood pressure was through the roof.
At
You know?
51.
Yeah, my grandmother had high blood pressure constantly, man, and from time to time she would have a stroke. You know what I'm saying? And that's devastating, man. So y'all, everybody go get checked out, man. Make sure your health is in good condition, man. If you can, man. I know it's hard out here with all this healthcare stuff, but try to be in good health out here if you can, if you know what's going on.
Do
Get
your
yourself
part,
checked
man.
out.
We only got
Please.
have each other's backs. But
True.
What do you think about Singleton Run? I know me and you, as we're a little older, so we really could get the impact that now that we're old enough, we knew what those movies meant, what was going on. But just seeing those movies, man, Poetic Justice, Boys in the Hood, seeing Ice Cube get into the acting. you know,
His movies really had a real impact on me, especially Boys in the Hood.
yeah.
Because as a little nigga, man, I thought that's how that's how L.A. was, but I was scared of that shit. For real, I'm thinking like, damn, if I go to L.A., I might get shot in the back with a shotgun out here. Like, this is crazy. Yeah, but he got so many classic lines in there. I mean, it's one of those. It's a classic black movie, man.
Even look how ahead of the time it was. You have Lawrence Fishburne with the iconic gentrification speech, man.
Oh my God!
And
Wow.
Today we're talking about that where Jay-Z's trying to say, gentrify your own hood. I get the premise is gonna be tough. Black people don't have the money like we used to.
The thing is, it ain't tough. If it ain't tough if we band together, it's tough when we try to do it by ourselves. That's the issue.
There's a lot going on.
That's
but just
the
funny.
whole
How
I think it is tough banding together.
But you look at how they've been. That
It is,
movie
'cause-
was 28 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and
Damn,
the
28?
jewels that it was dropping then, and now you have the whole gentrification thing that actually happened and is still happening.
I mean, we watching it
It's ahead of its
hands on
time.
in Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean, downtown. What?
It's pushing outward, man. And buying everything up.
Downtown,
Someone,
shit.
man, they was
Rosedale
on my
Park.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Talking about, on my Facebook, talking about it's mostly white people at Belle Isle. They ain't even a spot like that
It
no more.
is.
I think the best thing about those movies, that time period, like even the whole NWA after what came after that, I think representation, there was more, we have more black leaders. Like now, like what's a black movie we have now? Like what's a classic black movie that's came out in the past 5 years that actually had a message behind it? Like, yeah, we know what happened, Boys in the Hood, Ricky got shot at the end, but like you said, Lawrence Fishburne dropped some jewels that'll live for 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years.
You don't get that authenticity just that we had, man, where people was giving us that realness. You look at that whole time from just 89 or 90 on, those movies where you get New Jack City, you feel me? You get Menace to Society, Higher Learning. You're seeing real black issues, real black people. And then even going on to as far as, I think maybe the last movies we had where like it was some sense as black people was Love Jones and then, Best Man.
Best Man. Shit like
It's
that.
like now they want to show us like a minstrel show, some cornball stuff, and shucking and jiving. We're not just seeing no real black experience.
Man, back in the day, man, it was a hard attempt, bring up your point, of trying to band everyone together. And I feel like it was that last, like, if you're in a relationship with somebody and it just fucked up shit, and you just give it one last, all right, baby, let's try one last time, and it just don't work. I think that was like the last hard push for everybody as African Americans to try to band together and take control of, first of all, your neighbor, yourselves, your family, your neighborhood, then your cities, then your state, on to America, just being not divided and things like that, and just being aware in a way. Like, man, them guys was, like we say, dropping gems back in the day because the producers, Singleton, cared, and he wanted to obviously make money. That's what he do.
Right.
He loved what he do.
Feed his
This
family.
is what we do. You want to feed your family, but he wanted somebody to take something from what he putting out.
He actually went to Congress, too. He went to Congress right after that and spoke about some of the issues that's going on in the black community way back then and spoke in front of Congress and tried to get some legislation and some bills or whatever resolved to resolve the situation. So
Yeah, man. It's just like, it's like, how can we let, even with Nipsey, somebody, a good person like that go away and not try to keep that going? The move he was making, the moves he was making and was going to make, how can we not keep that going? Or John Singleton, how can we not try to, again, try to find a way to band together to whether they got to be through entertainment, sports, or just going out talking to try to get ourselves together and better, and then go on to make everything else better. Just be aware, man. Like, I don't understand how him passing couldn't touch
But
the
like,
average everyday Joe.
even to harp on the Nipsey thing, like I see a lot of people saying that, and I definitely agree. But with the Nipsey situation, it's like if I asked you last December, like, what's Nipsey Hussle doing? You probably wouldn't have known. Because I feel like it's a lot of people that's working like that. They're working behind the scenes. They're doing things for their community. They're doing things for a lot of people that you don't know. I saw somewhere that he created like 10,000 jobs just off like different things that he put together. So I feel like there's a lot of people that are doing those type of things that we should actually bring to the spotlight. I feel like we're not shining the spotlight on that. Too. Like, we waited after this man died to shine a spotlight on what he was doing.
And I wasn't that hipped on him. I wasn't hipped on him.
Me either. I knew who he was,
Yeah,
but his movement, no.
Yeah.
Like, he made some decent music. I'm like, okay, I can kind of rock with this, but it was like I didn't know to that extent that he was helping out Crenshaw, one of the worst places to be in the United States. Like, that's a tough spot where he was at. So
That's hell of a shit, man. Anytime you got Bloods and Crips chilling together, you the chosen one.
You don't see that too often.
Because they don't play that shit out there.
You don't see that too often.
I don't play that shit, bro. Still to this day.
And, shout out to John Singleton, too, for Poetic Justice, man. You got Tupac and Janet Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Tupac and Janet Jackson
come
in the
on,
movie?
Yeah, how iconic their lives
wow.
were. He got
Right.
them young. Even Tupac died young, but
Tupac
you got
and
Janet,
Jackson.
and you look at how she acts now. It's crazy that she did a movie like that.
I know.
For real.
It's probably time you really seen her have like
She
a
was
black,
so
like authentic experience. And then Tupac, where it's crazy you talking about someone dying early. You didn't even scratch the surface of maybe the things he could have been getting into and directing and writing and
He was getting into it too, man.
yeah, man, he was delving into it at 25, and you just seeing like those moves he was making, like just such an iconic movie, man. Regina King, and she's had such a great career going on. And,
True.
My man Joe
Yeah,
Torre
yeah.
constantly brushing his hair.
Yeah,
That's
Chicago.
that weak ass fade. Chicago.
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 Cousin. Man, that movie, that's a classic, dog.
Cousin Pete.
That's a classic.
Yeah,
and it's just stuff that really happens.
Right.
Even up until Snowfall, man. I don't know if I was messing with
Man,
that.
I
like
mess with
show
that, bro.
I didn't see the show, but I was listening to Free Ricky Ross talk about it. It's about his life,
Yeah.
quote unquote,
And that's
loosely,
good, too.
loosely. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's good too. It's one of those shows like I don't know, man. Like I said, this is what's cool with the extra hour. We get to talk a lot of other ish.
I love
And,
that.
I love it too, man. We get the sports, we get this, but you just don't get those great authentic stories of black people, man. Like when you get stuff where, like Empire, I don't mean to hate on the show, but at first it was cool. It was something different. Now it's like some soap opera stuff. Some days go, we don't have that problem.
Yeah.
We want to see what's like actually every day.
It's a
Man,
more
we don't
scripted
have it,
version
man.
of Love and Hip Hop almost.
Yeah, man. And so then you
Everlast.
get Power.
Got some big
They
names.
starting to get corny.
That's it.
So when you get in these shows like The Chi or
That show's
Snowfall.
dope. I just got hit.
Just anything. Like when I was
Yeah.
young, the dude that did Reading Rainbow was black.
Yeah.
Like it's just like any educational shows. Like everything nowadays is, like you said, it's shucking and jiving. You fighting, you arguing, There's nothing that's authentic. Like when you watch this show, you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna entertain for a little bit, but this is not what's going on.
Yeah.
Like this is not really
Niggas
what's
don't
happening.
Niggas don't even be arguing like that.
Exactly.
Like how them
We're so
shows.
chill now,
Don't nobody
man.
be at the crib just fucking breaking plates
Right,
and
like,
shit.
that's
Be
not
like,
happening.
You and your girl get into it, you be like, I'll
F
be
you.
back.
All right.
Right.
and you
You
just
don't chill,
dip,
they
dog. Like
all
it
make
do
up.
not be
Every
damn
day.
near Royal Rumble in that.
I know,
like,
man.
every
All the time,
argument,
every
dog.
argument, somebody going.
Nigga, you ain't even mad.
Stupid.
Like my
Right.
nigga, I know you ain't even mad, bro. Like they just showed the other scene where you was with 3 dimes.
Yeah.
I know you're not mad that she know, bro. Come on. You know she ain't going nowhere. Come on, man. Come on.
So
It's cool. It's entertainment.
So what do you
It's-
think the
They
solution
get their
is,
money,
though?
so.
Like we see the problem, but like what's the solution? It has to be some way to like fix the system.
You just have to allow a certain amount of diversity, and I mean like true one. Don't just try to get someone that they try to. I don't mean to be controversial, but they'll get someone that's black but not with a black experience. You feel me? And what I mean by this is, if you're mixed race and you grew up in the suburbs, we won't have that same story of someone that was actually grew up in a hood where you see certain you know, I'm sure your mama gave y'all that story with streets to stay away from. You know, it's just a certain naivety. I mean, I feel when you're not growing up in an experience, and when you don't see someone to have a representation of, hey, we're normal, we're actual people. We're not what they just show on the news, where they show you your worst in society. You just need that balance out. I don't think we get that.
So is that Hollywood? Will the director want that? But Hollywood would say, well, you know, we kind of want something a little different to appeal to somebody else. Like who actually gives the thumbs up? Who actually gives the okay for that? Because I know it's probably like a lot of push and pull with that. You know, some directors saying, like you said, you know, we want somebody authentic, want somebody hood. And I can see them going to the Hollywood place or wherever they go to sell their script. And we kind of want Timmy, who's suburban, half mixed, and he's going to sell to all the. How do we, you know what I'm saying? How do?
Next thing you know, he got you like, you know, that's why one of my favorite movies when I was younger, Bamboozled. Dope one, man. Classic. And
Black
that's what
face.
you get to see, man. Yeah. you getting that black face, like that over exaggerated black lifestyle. Like you said, man, people not, even our moms and dads or whoever, when they got into it, they significant others, man, we wouldn't. It's a more love.
Somebody come out with something like that and try to reach out to the people, man. It's, you know, it's all about that mighty dollar. But the problem is, you're gonna get somebody, if you get one of us to come in and try to let them know how it is, how you can make it out, what to do, what not to do. We from there, we here now. It's gonna take too long for people to grab hold of it. Whereas you go get I don't know, whoever like Nick Cannon to do something. It's all for that. It's all for that. It's all for that instant gratification. They want now. What we gonna do right now to make this money real quick and then that's over with. We can say we did it.
I think.
All right, we tried to reach out to the hood.
Like you said, I think it's the thing in them caring. Like this
Just
new
don't
show, All American on Netflix. The dude that act is British. I didn't know he was British. He's a black dude. But it's like one of the most authentic shows I've seen. My man's growing up in Crenshaw playing football, go to school upstate,
to the other side.
and that's like.
How many times we've seen that?
Right, like
man,
you see that happen. Like,
hey man, how you end up at that school?
Exactly, and it's like you can have more of those shows. You can do more of those things, but it's like imagine if somebody came here right now, like, yeah, I want you to write a show about the Asian experience in America. We all be lost, but we gonna do it for the money.
Exactly.
I think it should be more representation. But if we had an Asian guy in here or an Asian woman in here, they can help us out. So not saying the whole writing staff has to be Asian, but at least a little bit like, okay, I can kind of draw from that. It's a show, so it don't have to be 100% correct. But I think more representation inside of Hollywood and other places like the government, sports. Like, yeah, it's minorities in sports, but they're players. They're not the owners. They're not really the coaches. They're players. So at the end of the day, without that representation, you can't really appease to that group that you're trying to reach because you don't know what the hell they went through. So,
what the one girl tell Brian? Shut up and
dribble.
Yeah.
Oh, girl off of Fox.
Yeah.
Laura Ingram. Shut up and dribble.
Just like,
why I gotta shut
video.
up? Like, they actually listen to me. Why would you want me to shut up?
right,
like,
you should want me on your side.
That's why I ain't even talking to you, or about you, or at you. Like, that's crazy.
Man, I got the president of the United States tweeting about one of my favorite sports, man. It kind of pissed me off, man. He over here tweeting about the Kentucky Derby. This motherfucker don't know shit about no goddamn horses, man. He over here tweeting about the Kentucky Derby.
You did your thing yesterday, bro. You was at a little derby event, man.
Yeah.
How was that, man? It got all fancy.
You was at a derby event?
Yeah, they had at the Charles H. Wright Museum. They have it every year.
Okay. That's pretty cool. For some reason, don't get me wrong, that kind of annoys me though.
A lot of people,
derby events annoy me though.
A lot of people say, oh no, I thought you was going another way with it. A lot of people say when all the cities jump on and try to do like Kentucky Derby Day, every city got the parties going on.
Yeah,
people dress like that.
Yeah,
people be like, man, that's annoying. I'm like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. It obviously it kind of helps promote the sport that I like. But that's not the way to really promote it, and it's kind of like watered down to a degree.
You went, didn't you? Didn't you go last year?
I went years ago. I went to Northville Downs to actually go out there and bet and whatnot. Yeah. But I actually, to be honest with you, when I went there, I was annoyed.
For real?
It's 140,000 people out there, and it's expensive too, man.
How long was the race, dog? Like 3 minutes?
Most exciting 2 minutes of sports.
Wow.
Most excited 2 minutes of sport. Matter of fact, what happened yesterday was the first time that controversy ever happened. The winner got DQ'd.
What happened?
So when he was coming around the turn, pretty much like, you got to stay in your lane, man. Anytime you driving, you know what I'm saying? If you don't stay in your lane, you kind of veer on over. The car behind you going to have to obviously check or stop or whatnot, and it caused a chain reaction, and you got to stay in your lane, and it caused some other horses to fall back, so they just DQ'd him.
Yeah. Was that the projected winner?
Oh, he was the winner.
He was the favorite. He was the betting favorite.
The betting favorite
yeah.
is the one that got DQ'd.
He was the second favorite, but he was real close. Though.
What's the better favorite name? Because
it was Improbable, I believe. Improbable. His name was Maximum Security. Mm-hmm. But regardless of the fact, though, even if he didn't did that, he still was the best horse. It's kind of like an accident, pretty much.
Oh.
Even what he did, he still was going to win that race regardless. And to be honest with you, by them DQing that horse, I lost money. I would have won money, but it was the right call, though. It's kind of... in sports, you got the officiating. It's damn near
replay, the instant replay.
Yeah,
they protested it. That's why they looked at it. And I'm not even into horse racing, but you watch ESPN enough, you're gonna see something. Yeah. So they like protested, and they got the replay. It's like baseball. Like you can call somebody out or safe now by the replay. So like you said, they said it was the correct call. So
it was funny too because I seen that the Vegas Golden Knights, they said they tweeted to the horse not like he can read, but it was like, yeah, you got screwed too like we did, and they had all types of memes with them and the Saints and the
horse.
For real.
They tweeted the horse like, yeah, you got screwed like we did. I was like, damn, this shit kind of crazy, though.
That's crazy. This world is crazy.
So,
fucking Twitter.
To keep it on sports, how do y'all feel about the Lions draft? I don't know if y'all big football fans in here, but
oh man, Real couldn't even speak last week. We didn't like that conversation.
It was
didn't like that one. Haagen-Dazs.
Man, I think they made a huge mistake. If anything, if you wanted him that badly, you draft Devin Bush, trade your second and third round pick because you got two bums. I ain't gonna say two bums. You got two non-value players from where they were picked for the second and third round anyway, and then trade up in the first round to get them. Why not get you a linebacker that can actually cover the field? You got Gerard Davis, who he's a workhorse. He's gonna do what you ask him, but he's very limited in what he can do. In coverage, he gets killed every year.
Then you even had, you talk about how we like Ed Oliver.
Oh yeah,
on the board.
you could have got Ed Oliver. You could have got literally two players that can end up being the best players in this draft. You passed on for a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, with that, they compounded that with picking a linebacker from Hawaiian who fucked up his shoulder, who hadn't even played the whole year,
Bro.
And I'm looking like they showed a highlight of him. It was real short. I'm like, who is this motherfucker here? His highlight reel was about 20 seconds.
That was his high school highlight tape.
Like that. Who is this nigga right here? And that's what they took confidently. Like everybody else was like, we weren't gonna take him this early.
That's the thing. Like even if
Or
he
ever.
turns out to be a great player, you didn't have to waste a second round pick on him.
Right.
Like if he was a fifth round player and you knew he was good, take him in the fourth round. You still get value for him. You could have drafted Greedy Williams, who went into the season as a top 10 pick. All the way up until a week before the draft, he was a top 10 pick. Now, he slid back for whatever reason. He's not a willing tackler, but you put him on the opposite side of Slay, that's been our problem for years. We don't have two corners.
Nobody on the opposite side.
First, when we got Slay, it was like, okay, now we actually have a cornerback that can play since who? Dre Bly?
Closest thing, Dre Bly.
Right.
Oh, my God.
That's
I
it.
heard that name
So
here.
now you got another corner on the
Pro
opposite
Bowl
side where you
alternate.
can't pick on this. Like, you blew it. You got another linebacker who you can't. They can't cover sideline to sideline. Maybe you can clog up the run, but you got Snacks for that. That's kind of why you got Snacks from the Giants to clog up the run. You don't need a linebacker doing the same
Let's see
thing.
what Patricia do, man. He comes from that Belichick tree. You see how those
And that's
guys
not
get
good.
overrated.
That ain't good.
So, you getting your players in there. You're going to have to show them through what you want.
I really think they're really trying to be New England West.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're really trying to, and I don't think that's gonna work, man.
Like I said, when he got hired, if he not bringing Tom Brady with him, then we don't need him.
The format of copying a team is little bits and pieces here, but it seems like they overdoing it to a degree. It's like they trying to fit the whole mold of New England. I even heard they even thought.
Well, who are Wes Welker then? Who are
Danny
Elderman?
Amendola.
Danny
Amendola.
Yeah, Danny Amendola.
That's who it is.
And quiet as kept, I just seen that they was at the Kentucky Derby, man, and Danny Amendola bet Brady $100,000
Yeah.
if he could throw a football. What was it? Over the.
I didn't see what the bet was. I saw you bet him
He bet
$100,000.
$100,000 that he could throw a football over this roof or something at this spot. It was in the parking lot. They looked like they were drunk as hell or some shit. I'm like, damn.
The Lions, their problem is they signed Trey Flowers, so of course that's a great pickup. Well, the jury's still out, but from what we've seen, it's a good pickup.
Good free agent pickup. I
But
think. Yeah.
on the offensive side of the ball, like from wherever I read, they're saying like tight ends, it takes a while for them to get acclimated into the offense, and just until bigger players, like you go from blocking in the Big Ten to blocking Khalil Mack, like that's a huge difference.
Right.
So I don't see really where they got better offensively. I mean, I guess you can say you give Kerryon Johnson another year in the league, but it's like, where did you get better offensively? Like, yeah, you didn't really shore up the defensive side of the ball either, because now your secondary is still lacking. So
I think they should have went hard on their defensive line. Like you said, they got Trey Flowers, they got Snacks. Get somebody on the opposite side of Trey Flowers and solidify that defensive line, so that when they rush, it'll ease up on the linebackers, the DBs, and the safeties, because they get so much pressure on them that they can mess around and throw some picks or throw some unwarranted passes or rush passes or whatnot, and then you can just build from there on out. They can have a solid defensive line like the Rams did, Sue and Donald and whatnot. If they can just have a solid defensive line that's respectable and put a lot of pressure on that quarterback, that'll help out the flying Hawaiian or whoever that nigga we just drafted in the second round, as well as Davis.
That was a terrible value pick. I'm not gonna say it was a terrible pick because I don't know how he's gonna be as a player, but value wise, that was horrible.
No, it wasn't no value in that.
Yeah, it's horrible.
There was no value in that, especially when everybody's talking about you should have went a couple of rounds later.
And especially when you could have drafted a first round talent. You could have drafted Greedy Williams right there.
Right. It's
And
people that
no one
fell.
would have been mad at you.
Yeah, it's people that fell. That was value right there. Getting the people that should have been drafted earlier that fell to you. But I don't know what they do in their war rooms. I don't know how Bob Quinn and Patricia get down. I don't know if they got the Bill Belichick way. I don't even know what the way is. That's my thing with the Lions. I don't know what their structure is. They don't have any type of structure. They just seem like they just pick from here, there, and we don't know what the fuck they're doing.
You know what this pick
what's our angle?
reminds me of?
Yeah.
That second round pick, not Hawkinson, because I mean he was the best tight end on the board. I just don't like him being picked where he got picked. But that linebacker reminds me of the Pistons picking Darko Milicic. Like, you could have had other great players, and you decided to pick a guy that no one knew. Like, when they announced his name, the announcers were surprised, like, all right. They talked about him for literally 5 seconds and then switched to the previous player drafted. And it's like,
That was
what
wild.
yeah, that wasn't a...
What kills me, too, is they drafted a tight end with the last pick. My God damn, y'all already got my man from Pittsburgh, Jesse James. Then y'all drafted my mans right there. I'm sure y'all got somebody from the old roster that's still on there. I mean, y'all got what? Goddamn 9, 10 tight ends and shit. Y'all gonna pick somebody else that's gonna help solidify the team? I know it's the last pick and they call him Mr. Irrelevant depending on, if he's the very last pick or whatnot, but God damn, you could at least got somebody that you might think that could, what I'm saying, like a little diamond in the rough type shit. You got another tight end? Another one? I feel like Soldier with tight end.
That's dope, man. So, you got a call coming in? Sports on the other edge, man. Speak up.
What up?
What's good, man? What's good, man? We don't have our point guard here to lead and direct the show. He's out here with that championship game.
Man. Boys gone, man. 4-5 crazy AAU games, 4th grade, man. Lost a tough one to Flint Affiliation.
Oh, man,
At the
just talking with
buzzer
them.
shit. So, it is what it is. What's going on, though? What we on today?
Not much, man. We talked about, obviously, the playoffs. We talked about Steph. He's been looking terrible.
Steph with the loose button.
Yeah, man.
I think he had 5
The
of them.
Grant Hill drink Sprite. Punk ass fake dunk. Man, that shit crazy, man. And it was crazy because all I could think about was y'all saying that he was a catalyst. And, man, listen, man, without KD now, hey, man, I don't know, bro. Without KD, bro, I don't think they winning that, boy. Hey, what do y'all think?
Yeah, it's looking real OKC-ish, man. It's like we was just talking about, like, man, KD has to get those shots, especially if you about to come in, miss layups. And I just don't know. And I don't want to give him no excuse and say he's injured. You out there, man. You got to knock down shots, man. What you seeing, bud?
Man, Eric Gordon, not you know, and it's crazy because I'm gonna lead to that because I told y'all I had a surprise question for y'all, for all three of y'all. What up, Heezy? What up, Real? Eric Gordon, James Harden. I mean, they willed their way. Eric Gordon early, Harden late. A lot of KD. I don't know, man. The one guy that I'm tripping on is Clay.
Yeah.
Like I think he should. Like, what I'm saying is, man, do y'all think he stays? Like, I mean, I know he's selfless. He doesn't really care, but man, he should be a 2 option, damn near 1 option on the team, bro.
Let me tell you this: Klay Thompson has the best role there's ever have been in sports ever in life. He has the option to where if he has a bad game, no one talks about it. In 2016 finals, when the Cleveland beat them and they came back down 3-1, Klay Thompson played horrible. He played worse than Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes got more flack.
True.
Klay Thompson has a role where if he stays and they win, he's praised and he gets paid. If he leaves, he's not going to win by himself. So where does he go? You go to LeBron, you're going to catch flack from playing with LeBron if you're not winning. So it's like, why? If I'm Klay Thompson, I'm not leaving. I'm going to stay and ride that coattail for as long as I can.
If you Klay, though, I think you want to look at what is it that he wants. You look at it, he's already had a good career. He has 3 rings.
Yeah.
Time to
He's
get
made
paid.
some All-NBA teams,
Time to get
multiple
paid.
All-Star. So it's like, unless you want to just try to keep, do the Spurs thing, keep playing in a comfortable situation, or you just want to go out and get paid, I think he's earned it. He's not going to go down to no GOAT discussion, so he might as well just try to get paid because he's a Hall of Famer.
Look at what we just talked about with Rodney Hood.
Yeah.
So that's the thing too. With Klay, I agree with everything you just said. But the one thing is this too: KD leaves, it ain't the same as Warriors. Now shit is on your neck. You know what I mean? Now you catch that flag because now it's just you and Steph. You know what I mean? So it's a catch-22. But I don't know who I'll go play with. But let me get this question out to everybody. Listen to this one. And this shout out to A. Hayes. Hayes, you had brought this up on 420, I think. Man, is it just, like I said, is it just me or does CP3 get a break for losing when Carmelo Anthony doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he was definitely scrutinized up until last year when he's finally did advance to, pass the second round for the first time. But he's going to have to live with that for most of his career. I don't see the big flat as much as motherfuckers be on Melo here.
Yeah, they
flat.
With Chris Paul, man, for some reason, I mean, he's a very nice guy in public, man. There's some hell of a State Farm commercials, man. He gets it in on them State Farm boys, man. But like, if you really look at his whole career, he has some accolades that he has on his resume. But the man has only been to the Western Conference Finals. That's as high as far. Like he's up there with, every time you see him, you're on the stage with LeBron and D Wade and Melo, and everybody gives Melo flack. Half of it is deserving. Some of it is kind of hogwash or whatnot. But he gets nowhere close to the flack that Melo got, and they you know what I'm saying? They're pretty much in the same boat to me, realistically.
Bro,
that's tough.
Realistically, same boat. And then I remember everybody talking about, and I know you guys know this, where motherfuckers be like, hey, man, CP3 in the same breath with Isaiah. I'm like, nigga, you fucking crazy? You know what I'm saying? No fucking way. They were talking about him as one of the best PGs ever.
My only retort to that,
hell no.
My only retort to that is Chris Paul, and I know it's going to sound crazy, is probably the most complete point guard to ever play basketball. And I say that because where is the hole in his game? With Melo, people found he doesn't play defense thing. And they harped on that. Okay, now he's a black hole. You pass him the ball, he's going to shoot it 7 times out of 10. They harped on that.
Then also, if
with
you
Chris
look
Paul,
at it,
you don't have that hole in his game. That's why you can't really critique
I think that's more of an indictment on him. If he's the most complete point guard in the game, why haven't you been passed to the Western Conference Finals? You ain't got nobody come to play with you. Even when you did get to Harden, And then, like I said, it wasn't his fault that it's hamstring, but we need you on the court, blood.
But it's like, I'm not making excuses for him, but he's had excuses every year because Blake Griffin was injured. Then you play in New Orleans, you make David West an all-star, but you run up against Kobe.
See, that's what I said. He got all the excuses. Melo don't get that break. That's my whole point.
Melo
does not get that.
Stuff coming up. Yeah, a lot of stuff, but if and that with him. And like I said, we wrote the hole in the game is not winning. That's a hole. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, when we talk about, like you just said, one of the most complete point guards, are you disrespecting Zeke?
Oh, no.
Are we disrespecting Zeke right now?
Not at all, but Chris Paul has multiple first-team all-defenses. I don't know how many Isaiah Thomas
multiple
has.
championships.
That's correct, but we're talking about individual players.
Where the finals at? Where the finals? We even got to the point we could even get you to the finals to even say, man, you didn't even he just not getting this man. What 53 years old now? How old is Chris Paul?
He'll be 34.
Are we not calling Magic Johnson a point guard?
Oh, of course, but Chris Paul is definitely a better shooter. I'm saying complete. I'm saying complete. No, I'm saying complete because
he's like that prototype.
Yeah, you can't. He doesn't have a hole in his game.
No, he doesn't.
If you're a coach, you're not gonna say, you know what, I want you to be like Magic Johnson. He's 6'11". He's a point guard. You can't really. Chris Paul is like okay. What does he do that's not good? Like as a coach, just as a coach looking at the game, I can dissect Carmelo.
Like
I can't really dissect Chris Paul because there's not a flaw that he has when it comes to point guard. He plays defense. He facilitates. He can score. Now, granted, he doesn't win, but look at Tracy McGrady. I don't hear a flag for him. He didn't make it out the first round.
Yeah,
look at Steve Nash.
I think one thing too, when you look at it with Chris Paul, is he's like that 5'11", 6 foot range, so he gets that sympathy already as a point guard because it's like he's defying the odds, and then I think he gets the sympathy too for the injuries. So they kind of give him a pass for almost winning or going up 3-2 in the finals instead of actually going out and getting a ring. Whereas Melo, it's like he never really got a chance, I think, to play with another superstar in his prime. And then he wasted those years in New York because, he wanted to get that financial security. Mm-hmm. And how you see...
He went for the bag.
Yeah.
He went for the bag.
Yeah, but it's just like you just don't get to see him on that stage now. Whereas it would have been cool to see Melo in those playoffs to get those moments. Besides that one run with
Chauncey at the point.
Yeah, and you look at it, that was 2009. He was like 24, 25 at the time. And we really didn't get another moment after that.
But I'm saying, like I said, what you're saying, he went for the good run with Denver and all that. At the same time, y'all act like CP3 won in the league then.
No, not even that. But it's like you look at Chris Paul, you look at the teams he's played on, and I can harp this back to any player. I really, outside of LeBron, what series, besides the Houston series when they came back from 3-1 on the Clippers, what series has Chris Paul-led team lost where you're like, damn, he should have won that series? Yeah, even with Michael Jordan, he's never, I'm not going to say never, but when he was winning, all the series that he won, the finals that he won, they were the favorite. When he wasn't the favorite, when Michael Jordan was the underdog, when he didn't have the best team, they were losing. They were losing to the Celtics. They were losing to the Pistons. It happens. It happens to the best of them. It's just that they built a team around the Bulls.
Look it up. And the last finals, they were the underdog.
When they played Utah?
The last finals, they were underdog. Yep, the last finals. When they gave the MVP to... Now, I agree with you most.
To Karl Malone?
But it just triggered me. The last one, when they gave the MVP to Karl Malone, the Bulls weren't favored in that one. That was the only one. But I agree with you in most of the other ones, for sure. So it was only one of them that he wasn't favored.
But you also look at it, too.
Go ahead.
No, I said, but you also look at it, too, with Chris Paul. Some of those, he gets a lot of respect because that team was young, especially when he finished second to MVP, to Kobe in 08. That team just came out of nowhere, wasn't expected to do anything. So he gets respect for that, and they lose.
What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, they're at the same boat. And do you see what even in our conversation right now? You see all the love he's getting and Melo isn't, and they're in the same position, bro.
Yeah, it just seems like it's more Melo slander and
Yeah.
CP3 Love. In reality, they're pretty much they in the same boat. One got one paddle, the other got the other paddle, and they just spinning in circles, man.
Well,
Yeah,
one
same
was
boat. They behind D Wade and LeBron on the boat.
So if you put them in that boat, how many other players in that boat then? Because it's a bunch of guys that hasn't had that success that we
But
praise.
we put Chris Paul as a superstar though.
Oh, of
Like,
course.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not that many superstars that we're not. You know what I'm saying? That has not reached the pinnacle of at least getting to the finals. That doesn't get some shade thrown on them.
Vince Carter?
but Melo.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tracy McGrady?
No shade.
I mean, Tracy McGrady definitely gets the shade. Like, damn, man, you ain't got out the first. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got out the first
But
round.
Melo, if you look
His
at
is
it,
deserving.
though, Chris Paul, I think, is higher all time on his list. People were probably quick to call him a top 10. Some even say top 5 point guard. Whereas Melo, for a small forward, does he make the top 10? There's so many talented guys of him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Melo is going to go, as he gets older, he's going to fall in like that Bernard King, Dominique route, whereas gifted George Gervin, gifted guy could fill it up, but they wasn't able to get that playoff clutch moments.
Yeah, like Dominique was a
And,
very, very good player, but he gets overshadowed by that era because it was so like Jordan.
Yeah, I don't
Jordan
think he
overshadowed
never
a
made it
lot
past
of
the second
those.
round.
Like
Yeah.
it
And
happens.
then you get caught up in Bird, Magic, Dr. J era, and then Jordan just comes and take it. You know, it's a lot of guys get left by the wayside.
But-
So that's a great comparison, man. Both those guys, they essentially have the same career.
Like-
But Melo's not beloved because you look at it, teams didn't even want to mess with him like that. Like I'm looking at Iman Shumpert coming out here, stinking it up. He bought out yesterday. But it's like, dang, why is it Melo? Like, Melo couldn't do that job.
No.
Like, no one could find a spot for Melo, man. Seriously.
I'm not for Melo slander, but it's like, look at you played in the West and you came in the NBA in 03. You got the Spurs still at their peak, and you got the Lakers just now ending their dynasty. And then you go to the East, and then you got LeBron. So it's like
he had two. I know cats remember the one series that they had against the Lakers where Kenyon Martin threw that bitch away from on an out of bounds play.
Yep.
Like twice. Trevor Ariza gets the steal. Like those are times where they had a chance where they were pushing the Lakers to. And we're talking about Melo as like a sophomore. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? Let's take it back to even college. He won a national championship as a freshman.
yep,
You know
Syracuse.
what I'm saying?
That's their last one.
It's like that's
Great
my
run.
only thing. Like, I don't think that. Like I said, it's just funny how it's more slander for him instead of just saying like, oh man, he had to, like you said, he was in the West behind these two powerhouses during their dynasty years. Tim Duncan was still there, Kobe was still there. It's none of that. It's just like and then like you said, he goes to New York. Hey man, he's over there with LeBron. He's over with Thanos now.
Right.
Now he's over there with Thanos. So it's like, damn, dog. And that's my only thing. Is like, man, it's more slander towards him than, you know what I'm saying, than the other way, man. So that was a great, man. I'm glad y'all chimed in on that shit.
Oh
man.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, man. Got all it down, bud. Man, anything you want to touch on? Because you was the one bringing up John Singleton, man. You want to pay your respects,
that's
man.
Exactly.
Say your piece about him.
Got to him, man. I wanted to touch on him, man. Rest in peace, John Singleton, man. First of all, man. You know, I think the first black man to get even nominated for like Best Picture as director of an Oscar. But the thing is, man, and I know Troy, you said you want to touch on it too. Like, touch on it, like, just think about this, man. Picture this. Take me back to when this was in the movies. Hey, take me back to when this was in the movies at the Americana, the Fight Theater, 9 Mile in Greenfield, right in Oak Park. When Boys in the Hood was in the theater, dog. Like, we were so little, but we were so much impacted by it, man. Take me back to that Boys in the Hood scene, dog.
Yeah, man, it was crazy, man. I remember just the crowd and everything, you know what I'm saying, and just being a little nigga in there, man, and just watching the whole, just all the iconic lines and everything in there, and just, you know what I'm saying, like we was talking about Fishburne with the quotes from the gentrification and everything.
Troy Boy, that's Troy Boy right there.
Hey, one of my guys joked with me, always said I look like Furious. It's like, you like Furious with the beard, man. Yeah, so, you know, that's the scene definitely stood out to me. But, yeah, man, it was just so shocking. We keep getting these losses this year. And when
Man.
I was bringing up Boog, I was like, man, I was so shocked that he was essentially like 23 when he made Boys in the Hood,
Young.
giving us that type
Right.
of movie. And
Right.
it's like he had the pulse of his people, and it was like, like we said earlier, no shucking and jiving. He just gave you a real experience. Whereas like,
Oh man.
that looks like me.
I mean, well, let's put it this way though. Let's you know what I'm saying. That's funny because, like you said, usually give you a real experience, right? And that's Boys in the Hood all the way. That's a tale of somebody trying to go to the league in football with Ricky. You know what I mean? Just a hood nigga that was the out cold athlete, and everybody thought he was gonna go somewhere, but he wasn't giving a fuck about school. So shit, now, damn, how do I get these scholarships if I ain't got no goddamn grade? Then you had his boy who was super smart, just the one random cat in the hood, just actually smart, probably gonna make it out the hood. Some motherfuckers really don't fuck with him, even the dope dealers. You look how Dope Boy and them handle Trey. They was like, man, Trey, man, just chill out, bro. You know what I'm saying? You not
this ain't
us,
for
you. Know
you.
what I'm saying? You know, nowadays, you don't have those dope boys that would do that. Dope boys, if they see somebody, hey man, you better be part of this gang or fuck you. It ain't no, you know what I mean? It's like no honor system in the hood no more. But back then, Boys in the Hood came out, it was.
Yeah, we don't have that moral authority.
Go ahead, Troy.
No, I was just saying you just don't have that moral authority figure
Nah.
like we had, like someone like, hey, we got this crap going on, but we're not gonna let it reach the good ones, even as quick as it sounds.
Man, right, dog.
You know.
Hey man, hey, you see that boy over there hooping? Don't nobody ever come near that motherfucker with no drugs or no gang shit.
Yeah,
dog.
man,
You gotta
let
check.
him-
Yeah, because
You know what I mean?
everybody
change his
realizes
mama
that he
life.
has a legitimate pathway to make something really happen for himself and shit. So everybody try to look out for dude.
Man, that's dope. So you
Yeah,
got that, man. We also had I don't know if you can stay on a little bit longer, Bug, but in addition to John Singleton, we also had the Billboard Awards, and I don't want to talk about it because I'm not into the mainstream music like that. Drake cleaned up, Cardi B cleaned up, but with us having that other ish, we now got a lot of time to talk about other things. So what y'all riding to now, man? What y'all listening to music wise, man? Just
Oh, back to the music shit. Listen, man. I'm gonna tell y'all, man. I think I put Troy on. When was that, Troy? I told you to listen to
Anderson .Paak.
a little bit of Anderson .Paak's new album, bro. Like I'm rocking to it. It's damn near like an R&B album,
Yeah, it's like
dog.
grown,
It's so smooth.
grown,
It's called
man.
Ventura. I'm rocking with that. The new Wiz Khalifa live. The new Wiz Khalifa is live, the 5 Times Volume 1. But I'm going to tell you like this. I heard a track Friday. It's one of the best tracks I've heard, I would say, in the last 10 years, bro. And it's by Joyner Lucas. It's called Devil's Work.
Yep.
Oh, I
I
heard
was
that.
about to say that. That's my
spoke some
guy,
real
though.
talk.
Jordan Lucas is my guy, so
Man, they spoke, man. That was
Soon as
dope.
you guys leave the studio,
Facts.
play Devil's Work, bro. It's so dope. Straight, it's a dope ass concept and the beat bang. It's like you getting both. You getting both of them, man. It's so dope. So I'm definitely riding to that, man. As far as that's the newer stuff. I always go to old school. If you want some old school, lately I've been back. I've been back on my Beanie Siegel,
Oh, okay.
the B Coming album.
Oh, that
So I've
album
been
was
back
dope,
on the
man.
Beanie Siegel, the B
Lots of
Coming
jam.
album, but
Dope production,
But
too.
yeah, man.
What
You
you
know,
riding
so
around to,
that's where I've
Donovan?
been at lately. What about y'all?
What you want to do, Donovan?
So Jordan Lucas, like you said, it's funny that you said that because that was gonna be my first guy. I was just showing my manager that song, that Devil's Work song today. Other than that, honestly, I just put my Apple Music on shuffle, and I like to listen. I actually like Tory Lanez. I like Drake. That's my guy.
Yeah,
Big
I fuck
Sean.
that, Dave.
I like a lot of Big Sean. I mean, Detroit music. Granted, it's not all mainstream. I just like to hear it because,
Get that grittiness.
hey, I like that. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, man, all Detroit rappers sound the same. But, okay,
Sometimes
Atlanta
I
do,
want that
too.
bad, yeah.
Like,
Everybody
Young
snapping,
Thug, Gunna, like, they all sound the same.
harmonizing on the beat the same. So
I listen to a bunch of Jay-Z. Like, I love
Yeah.
Jay-Z. I like to just sit back and, like, the Black Album is probably the most played album on my
classic.
phone.
Classic.
Just because, like, I
classic.
can actually sit back. I don't got to skip a song. I can vibe. Like,
I think it's so crazy that, like, even when you just saw what he did with the B-sides and his freestyling, like, people don't realize he's about to be 50 this year. And he just adapted with the times and just like
shout out to Jigga.
he can rap like
When
that.
did Jigga start? 96, 95, 96?
Yeah,
So,
96. He was 27.
You got Jigga still relevant. You think like that? So this is something I'm gonna ask y'all, and I want to go besides who J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake, who I think can last just like these guys. But think about the guys. So that's 3 guys.
Mm-hmm.
But think about back then, and we had Snoop still relevant,
Yep.
Jigga still relevant, Nas still relevant, Scarface still relevant, Bun B still relevant, E40 still relevant. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going off the top of my head.
DMX, all
But,
those
like,
guys.
DMX the GOAT.
nowadays-
He got a concert coming up.
Who can do that? Who can, besides Kendrick, Cole, or Drake, name me somebody who y'all think y'all hear in 15, 20 years.
Yeah, longevity is tough, man. That's a tough.
But yeah, that's real
know.
tough.
And because people try to give him that flack of, he riding waves, he doing all that. It's like, one, you got to be able to keep an ear of the new people. You feel me? Of
Yeah,
course,
that-
people are going to have that nostalgia and they're going to want to go and listen to your old songs.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to keep that new audience, people want to see that you can be able to, adapt. Like, I don't know
Keep
if y'all
up with the
listen-
times.
I don't know if y'all listen to battle rap, but
Mm-hmm.
Cassidy came back and battled Goods. And you seeing Cass like, all right, we rocking with it a little bit, but you haven't showed the
It ain't the
ability
same.
to rap like that. People not rapping like that in 2006, man. So it's like, show us the versatility. You feel me? We'll listen to your old stuff, but show us the versatility.
Right. Show that you can, and that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
back then, like that's a little bit before my time.
Yeah.
But for me seeing video, I got older brother, I got older cousins. Troy, one of them is like, you got guys like Nas who was rapping at such a young age. Jay-Z rapping at such a young age. Nowadays, people rapping at a young age, but they're rapping to make money. They're not rapping because they love it. They're rapping to make money, and that's why they're not
Yeah,
gonna
it's not
last.
an art. It's not the art.
Yeah, it's
And
not
they don't,
an art.
They don't really care about the art of hip hop.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
They just want to get like it's crazy when you talk about like today, we don't get to appreciate a body of work. Guys just want to drop a single. Songs not only you get one verse and a hook and a part of a
quick
feature.
flash in the pan.
And now they 2 minutes because now people want to keep getting stream numbers, and it's like, man, you really just don't get down to sit and appreciate an album.
Now, how does that work? I don't understand how that. So how do you get paid off of streams?
I think you get like 1 million streams.
Because
You get,
I heard somebody had like
$12,000.
1 billion streams, and that
No,
only
it's less than that,
and
yeah.
they went gold. Like, how the fuck do you get 1 billion streams or something?
I
And
think I don't know. I think they changed the algorithm. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. But I think they try to make it like 1 million streams, like, or something like that, or 100,000 streams count as one album.
Yeah, different
So-
platforms pay different.
But I'm saying, like, so is that like how many times somebody plays my song on Tidal or, or Apple Music or Pandora? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does it go?
So each company has to send in their numbers at the end of the month or however long, like quarter. I think it's weekly though. So each company sends in their numbers, and for each one song. So before it was album sales.
Yeah.
Like you had so many album sales, but now it's like so many streams equals one album sale. So you can have 100 streams, but that can be 2 albums.
Because everything is consumer based.
Exactly.
And now, like I said, you don't get a chance to sit with a song, whereas,
Right.
because you look back then, we'd get a CD, and then maybe next month, another rapper about to drop something hot. But now it's like, man, dang, we'll listen to an album one day, and the next day we on to something else because people, they're worried about their stuff leaking.
They
Now
trying
they
to
just
drop
hurry
so
up and
fast.
drop something fast, and it's like, man,
Like,
we're not getting you
Think about
that hunger.
the Drake and Meek Mill situation. Like, granted, whoever you think won, A or B, Drake released a diss track. It was 3 days later, and everyone was like, Meek Mill lost because he didn't release a song. But
there's no patience.
When
where-
Nas and Jay-Z, Takeover and Ether was like months apart. Like, they didn't happen back to back because we were patiently waiting. We sat with the songs, we listened to them, we got to actually grow with the music. And I think that's why J. Cole is going to always be relevant because he'll drop a track,
I gotta get to a concert.
he'll drop a CD, and then he'll let his fans sit with it. So now when he's releasing a new song, okay, we got to buy this new Cole because it's new. Like Young Thug was dropping an album every month, and it's like, okay, I ain't even listen to the last project to even dissect it to know if I really like it or not.
Yeah, man. Just like they give you that big single with a whole bunch of filler tracks on them. Whereas you don't get the, you know, I'm sure I'm like most people. I don't play the popular song by the time I get the album. I end up getting other songs that I like. And now you don't even get that. You used to get Rich or Die Trying or Kanye albums. Now I was like, man, I only like 2 tracks.
Oh, speaking of 50, first off, 50 changed the game. I think 50 is kind of responsible for what's happening now, like with constantly streaming, because G-Unit was almost like flooding the market. Like they were dropping fire, and 50. First off, Get Rich or Die Trying is a classic album.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it further back to that because all this really sounds like
Master P.
circa 1996, 1997, 1998, 1999, when every 2 weeks the legend, the mogul, the GOAT, Master P was dropping one every motherfucking
No
2
limit.
weeks. You was there in the motherfucking store, and you was going to get you a Soldier track on everybody's album, whether it was Mia X or motherfucking Fiend, Mystical, Snoop, nigga, The True nigga, Silk, C Murder, P on album. Nigga, they
Cain and Abel.
flooded the market.
Hey, man, I got to
Cain
go.
and Abel.
My bad. How you while you touching on Master P, I was thinking about something I've been seeing on social media. And it's that Blueface cat. And they talk about, so they talk about who can't stay on beat more, him or Silk the Shocker.
Oh my goodness, bro.
It's like, who y'all think will rock it out?
Listen.
That's so crazy.
My nigga Silk is crazy.
I like Blueface. I ain't gonna lie.
What?
I like Blueface.
You like Blueface?
What
Yeah,
you
I like
got, Book?
I like it.
What? Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I was
we
just
got a
about to
young
shout
nigga.
out Journey for liking that mumble mouth motherfucker. Listen, man.
I like it.
This motherfucker, man, this motherfucking offbeat ass nigga, I can't fuck with it, bro.
That's the battle of the year, man.
The
It's
thing
not
is,
that Game of Thrones stuff. It's Blueface versus the beat.
He catching those pockets, and I like how it's like it's my own style. I'm a rap like this, and they eating it up. It's not like he's lyrical. Don't get me wrong. It's not that he's lyrical, but
No, it's not like he's lyrical.
he
He's terrible.
is witty.
This guy.
He is very witty. Like if you listen to some of the things he say,
Hayes, what you got, man? Because we had
it's real
we
witty.
had the Silk the Shocker and the sugar-free crap. You know, I mean not crap, but just stuff coming up. Like, what you think about him and the beat or rappers who purposely don't rap on beat?
Man, it's hard to rhyme with, man. You know, as a black person, I got vibes in my body, man. You know what I'm saying? I vibe to a beat, man. So if I want to vibe with you, you know, I got to catch a vibe. And it's kind of when you kind of everywhere. I'm, you know what I'm saying? I can't dance with you, baby. It's kind of hard, man.
The thing is, he's on beat. He's just not on the beat he's rapping on. That's the thing.
So that means he ain't on beat.
He's not on the beat he's rapping. So if you vibing with it, if you feel the vibe, like you can keep up with it. But if you trying to listen to the beat too, you gonna be like, hold on.
I can't keep up with him, man.
Like,
it's tough. It's tough for me. I put like me personally. It's just tough, man.
No, and that's the thing. Like it.
Man, oh
The thing is, you gotta listen. Like to me, it makes me laugh when I listen to it. Like, cause some of the stuff he says is like, bro, what it made you even think to say that?
I ain't gonna lie. I had a rapper like that I thought was.
I'm gonna go watch a stand up when I want to laugh, man. If I'm listening to some motherfucking hip hop, I don't want to rock, man. You know what I'm saying?
But I have like I've
man.
had those guilty pleasure rappers where they had a different style. It was weird with it. I used to listen to that little B Cat.
Oh
When I
yeah.
was in college.
Speaking of the '90s, what about Sugar Free?
That's
He
what
ain't
I
rap
just
on
said.
beat.
Man.
Yeah, Sugar Free ain't rap on beat at all.
Some of them, though, I didn't.
And I didn't rock with Sugar Free.
Right, yeah, I'm about to say I didn't. But even with Silk the Shocker, when we was listening to him, even though we listened to him, we didn't take him seriously. Like you know what I'm saying? It was like, oh man, here goes Silk, man. You know, I hang with niggas, I do my thing with niggas, gang bangers, I hang with a whole gang of niggas. It's like, man, this nigga's silly, man. Yeah.
Don't do like them, Kelly. Yeah,
Yeah, he was just silly with it though, even though he was. I
I
don't.
don't think Silk was the deal.
Yeah, I'm
You know what
not
saying?
taking him seriously like
Oh,
that.
I
And then
don't
by the
take him
time he
serious
done, you know what I'm saying, we got Mystical up next, you know what I'm saying, who throwing some
He
real
yelling
bars or
right,
something
right.
down or something like that.
It's really cats out here. What I'm saying is really cats out here that like, hey man, that dude is a dope MC. No, he's fucking
Oh
not.
no! I would never
That's
say
what I'm
something to him.
And we got a couple minutes left. I just want to, because like I said, we're a show, and I like to be
Where's
able to
Big
put.
Freaky at, dog?
He had a little emergency. He had to leave right quick, so he gonna come
Oh
back.
man, okay.
Yeah, but,
Shout out to Big Freaky.
Sometimes you looking at the show, you don't know who's watching this, so that's a chance to just introduce some different music. What is like an underrated artist or underrated album that you listen to or think needs more recognition that someone should probably check
Well,
out?
I'll say this. I'm not a big fan of him, and I guess it's kind of go back to the earlier point that Judge brought up, who y'all might listen to. But I don't like Sada Baby at all, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. But it is one song that I do like. It's called "On Gang,"
Face of
Okay.
Detroit.
and you know what I'm saying, he got a little YouTube video with it, and I'll rock with that. But besides that,
Sada
That's
is
a
the
different
face
one.
of Detroit. He is the
That's
face
crazy.
of Detroit. I'm telling y'all this right now. He's the face of Detroit.
Somehow it's crazy because he's from Chicago and he just embraced our swag.
That's all it
he
takes.
from Chicago.
That's all it
Yeah.
takes.
I thought but he's from Chicago in the face of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a head scratcher right
That's
there.
like Exhibit. He from Detroit, and he went to L.A. and they embraced him like he was one of their own.
I mean, I thought he was like born and raised here.
you want to talk
Sada
about that?
Baby.
Eminem ain't from Detroit. You from Warren. If
Oh,
you want to
that's-
get that technical, look.
We're gonna touch on
I'm
that.
just saying, we want to
definitely
get
gonna touch
that
on
technical
next week because I got a debate. But I mean, I'm in the topic. But what you think? Like, what you listening to? What you want
Me,
to put somebody on?
I always push Jordan Lucas. Like, if you like, I know I said I like Blueface because it makes me laugh. It gets me, like, I be in the gym, I be laughing, I'm working out. But if you're looking for content-based music, like something that a lot of people don't listen to, Jordan Lucas's last album and this new song he just came out with, Devil's Work, I think if you actually want to sit
That
down
was work, bro.
and listen to
That
good
Devil's Work
music,
is fucking
you want to
crazy.
actually, like,
And check the video out too. Check the Devil Work video out.
yep.
What you listening to, Bug? Put somebody on something. You put me on solid, man.
so-
Thank you for that.
Right before I go out, man, I'm gonna take y'all back to last year when we was on the Sports and Social. So the Pivot Gang dropped an album. It's called "You Can't Sit With Us." Came
Oh.
out about a couple weeks ago,
All right,
and
Pivot
it's
Gang.
Saba and his boy.
Dope.
And so in his gang, and it's dope. You got about 13, 14 tracks. Saba all on there, John Doe, Joseph Chilliams. Check it out. It's called "You Can't Sit With Us," and it's the Pivot Gang, man. It's
And
dope as hell.
One more. J.I.D. He one of J.
Okay.
Cole artists in what Dreamville, I believe that's the name of the thing. Dreamville.
Oh,
J.I.D..
Yeah. I didn't know if his name was J.I.D. or Jid.
Yeah, no,
that nigga's
yep,
cold.
it's J.I.D..
We
He
all
go-
got a
yeah.
lot of time. I'm just gonna quickly say this one cat I've been liking him is Toby Nwigwe. He a dope cat, man. He
Oh,
gonna drop some freestyles. Yeah, we're gonna touch on some more music next week. But this show been awesome. The playoffs, everything is either 2-1 or 2-2. And we'll be back next week to give y'all the
Hey,
update.
Portland,
Hold people
Portland, Denver in
accountable.
the fight right now too.
We
In
got to
the fight
hold
right
people
now.
accountable, you know. But
Damian
was on that
Lillard.
Celtics bandwagon. But
Hold
thanks for
them
coming
accountable.
through, Hayes. Thanks for coming through, Donovan.
No problem.
Open anytime to come through, man. And that's Sports and Social this week. Thank you.